Chapter 1356, Chaotic Battle, 3, Master Hong, didn't you say you wanted to take over the Yen clan? Why aren't you doing anything? Now, the Yen family has delivered themselves to my door. Shuang said to the head of the Hong family with a smirk. By the way, you also said that you wanted to seek justice for your daughter. Where is your precious daughter? Shuang said as he searched around. Damn it, when did I say those words? When the head of the Hong family heard Shui Ying's words, he glared fiercely and roared. The Yen family's first elder's expression wasn't very good either. However, this was also within his expectations. Before we came here, you told us yourself that you wanted to use your daughter's name to take over the Yen family, right? Hurry up and do it. Shuang urged. The master of the Hong family was so angry that he couldn't speak. Yen clan's first elder, right? I'm telling you. Master Hong is very powerful, and the Yen clan won't have a good ending if you encounter him. So, I advise you to return to Yen City before Master Hong makes a move. As long as the city gate is closed, he shouldn't be able to break in. However, if the gate of Yen City is not strong enough, even the Divine Master can't save you. Shuang said to Yen tribe's first elder. There's no need for you to worry about this. The Yen clan's first elder gritted his teeth, and couldn't help but curse in his heart. Fuck, where did this hateful fox come from? Was he here to sow discord? Hee hee. I'm just afraid that you'll all be annihilated, and the Yen clan will have no successor. You should know that Master Hong already has no one to send him off. I don't want you to be like that, AI. Poor thing. Shuang said with a look of sympathy. Damn it, what nonsense are you talking about? The master of the Hong family and the first elder of the Yen family shouted in unison. They were so angry that they almost fainted. I'm not talking nonsense, I'm an honest fox, don't slander me. However, all of you are of one mind. Could it be that there's an affair between you two? Shuang asked with great curiosity. Master Hong and the first elder of the Yen clan turned pale with anger, while Yin Xiao and the others couldn't help but laugh. Yin Xiao had a look of realization on his face as he said, no wonder you guys said so much nonsense even though you knew the other party's purpose. So that's why. Damn it. I won't let you off. The head of the Hong family roared in anger. He was really about to be angered to death by these people. He really regretted not killing them earlier. These people clearly wanted to cause trouble for him. At the thought of this, the furious master of the Hong family quickly gathered divine power in his palm and threw it in the direction of Shuang. However, something unexpected happened. The divine skill that was originally flying toward Shuang suddenly changed its direction and went straight for the Yen family's great elder. Seeing this, the Yen clan's first elder quickly dodged. However, that divine skill was a wind attribute divine skill and was extremely fast. Although he dodged it, the Yen clan's people beside him were not spared and died directly under the divine skill of the Hong clan's patriarch. Wah! Master Hong had actually killed a member of the Yen clan. You've got guts to make a move in public. When Shuang saw this, he quickly shouted out with a face full of adoration. His words immediately caused the Yen clan to unite against a common enemy. Master Hong, you actually killed a member of my Yen clan. The Yen clan's first elder shouted angrily. A member of the Yen clan had died in front of everyone's eyes. This was definitely more shocking and infuriating than the fact that the Hong clan had captured the first master and daughter. Because this feeling was too direct, they couldn't ignore it even if they wanted to. Moreover, killing their own clansmen in front of them was a clear provocation to the Yen clan. If they turned a blind eye to it, it would definitely make the hearts of their clansmen cold. That was just an accident. The head of the Hong family said disapprovingly. He originally wanted to kill that fox, but who knew that his divine skill would actually miss? He was also very puzzled in his heart. However, he didn't think that the Yen family would fall out with them just because of the death of a clansman. After all, neither of them had any intention of immediately exchanging fire. What a surprise! Master Hong, you're really good at shirking responsibility. Shuang said disdainfully after hearing what the Hong family had said. You shut up. Otherwise, I'll kill you right now. The master of the Hong family gritted his teeth in anger. That damned fox. If it was not Leng Ruox's beast pet, he would have killed it long ago. Do you want to kill the fox? I wasn't the only one who saw what happened just now. Everyone saw it. Do you want to kill all of us? Shui Ying's eyes were filled with tears as he asked timidly. Yup. Master Hong, we all saw it. You were the one who killed that Yen clansman. Unless you eliminate all of us and the Yen clansman present, this matter cannot be covered up. Yin Shao kindly reminded. All of you, shut up. The head of the Hong family was furious. He wanted nothing more than to kill Shuang and Yin Shao's team right now. Unfortunately, he couldn't do anything in front of the Yen family. Otherwise, he would probably kill them to silence them. He was so aggrieved. Yen clan's first elder, let's all shut up. Whatever Master Hong says, well, just listen to him. Yin Shao said with a smile. After he finished speaking, he didn't say anything else. When the great elder heard Yin Shao's words, his heart was filled with hatred. Although he knew that the other party was just trying to sow discord, he had no choice but to fall for it. Otherwise, how would he be able to convince the people of the Yen clan in the future? Clan head Hong, first you captured the Yen clan's eldest master, young lady, and many of our guards, and now you've killed a member of the Yen clan in front of me. If the Yen clan doesn't settle this score with you, I'm not worthy of being the Yen clan's first elder. Yen tribe's first elder coldly said. I told you it was an accident. What else do you want? The head of the Hong family said impatiently. You want to seek justice for the dead members of our Yen tribe. Just as Yen tribe's first elder finished speaking, he heard someone in his team shout, Charge! Kill this bunch of bastards from the Hong family. To avenge our dead Yen clansmen. Thanks then, everyone from the Yen clan rushed out, and in an instant, the two sides were in a chaotic battle. When the Yen clan's first elder saw this situation, it was already too late for him to stop it. Moreover, under these circumstances, he couldn't stop it either. Otherwise, the clan members would definitely think that he was afraid of the Hong clan. If that happened, his prestige as the first elder would be completely gone. Therefore, he could only brace himself and keep a close eye on the Hong clan's clan head, and pray that his clan members would be able to win in a single move. If they could really destroy the Hong clan and capture the Hong clan's clan head, that would be a great thing for the Yen clan. The head of the family would be very happy when he found out. The head of the Hong family looked at the two families fighting and the anger in his heart slowly rose. It seemed that this battle was inevitable. Since that was the case, then let's fight. As he observed the battle situation, he searched for his target. However, under the close watch of the Yen clan's first elder, it did not seem easy for him to deal with his target. Thinking of this, he decided to bide his time and hold back the Yen clan's first elder. After all, the two of them were the strongest among the two clans. The two of them bided their time, and neither of them dared to make a move, lest the other party take advantage of the situation to deal with their own clansmen. Seeing this situation, Shuang took advantage of the chaos and began to fish in troubled waters. In a short while, the Hong and Yen families suffered countless casualties. By the time master of the Hong family and the first elder of the Yen family realized the severity of the situation, more than half of the people from the two families had already died. Great Elder Yen, do you still want to continue? Tell them to stop. If there's anything, we can talk it out. The head of the Hong family looked at his dead clansmen and said with heartache. One had to know that the clansmen he had brought with him were all the elites of the family. Now that he had died just like that, he was really depressed. Yes. Yen clan's first elder nodded. He also felt that they should not continue fighting, otherwise, the two clans would really have to fight to the death. Immediately, the two of them shouted in unison, all of you, stop. Unfortunately, the people of the two families, who were already in a state of frenzy, ignored the words of their family head and great elder and continued to attack each other. Suddenly, all kinds of divine power flew around in the middle of the battlefield, and screams of pain rang out continuously. As for Leng Ruoxue, Yin Shao, and the rest, they had already hidden to the side to watch the show after the battle, so as to avoid being affected by the divine power. "All of you, stop!" the master of the Hong family shouted again. However, the two sides still ignored him. The head of the Hong clan was furious. He turned around and walked towards the prison carriage that held the Yen father and daughter. He lifted the father and daughter out of the carriage. Then, he returned to his original position and raised the Yen father and daughter up. He shouted loudly, "Yen family, stop!" When the people from the Yen clan heard this roar, they subconsciously stopped and looked in the direction of the sound. However, the people from the Hong clan did not stop. The godly skills in their hands were still flying around. At this moment, two godly skills coincidentally flew in front of the Yen clan's old master, and only a puchi was heard. With a sound, the divine skill entered the Yen clan's first master's body, and he instantly died. Seeing this, the head of the Hong family was stunned and looked unhappily at his clansmen. Everyone from the Hong family also looked at each other because none of them knew whose godly skill had killed the Yen family's first master. However, this scene was a great shock to the Yen family. They had stopped attacking, but they started to fight with their opponents again. This time, neither the Hong clan's patriarch's roar nor the Yen clan's first elder's words could stop them. This made the two of them rather depressed, but they could do nothing about it. The master of the Hong clan looked at Yen Ling who had already fainted from fear, and threw her on the ground in disgust. Then, his gaze turned to the first elder of the Yen clan. "Great elder, it seems that this battle is unavoidable. In that case, let's have a contest." Although Master Hong was seeking the opinion of the first elder of the Yen family, his tone did not allow the other party to refuse. "Since Master Hong has such an intention, then this old man will accompany you to the end." Yen tribe's first elder lightly sighed. With that, the two figures began to fight. In an instant, the glint and flash of the blade and the shadow of the sword streaked across the air, leaving behind beautiful arcs. The two of them were evenly matched. Hence, it was difficult to determine the victor in a short period of time. However, other than Leng Ruoxue and the rest, the people from the two clans were not in the mood to watch the battle between them. Everyone's eyes were red from the killing. After a long time, the two families were either dead or injured. Master Hong and the first elder of the Yen clan were also heavily injured. After countless rounds of fighting, their Shen power was almost exhausted. Chapter 1357, Condition 1. The patriarch of the Hong clan and the grand elder of the Yen clan sat on the ground, staring at each other with a hint of vigilance in their eyes. At this moment, neither of them had the strength to continue fighting. The two of them were panting, and the people of the Hong and Yen clans who were still alive were lying on the ground like corpses, not moving at all. At this moment, Leng Ruoxue walked over and looked at Master Hong and First Elder Yen. She chuckled and said, "The battle between the two of you is truly wonderful. It's a feast for our eyes. Who are you? What do you want?" The Yen clan's first elder was on high alert. However, the Hong clan's clan master seemed to be very relaxed. In his heart, Leng Ruoxue was already his. "I don't want to do anything, I just want to express my feelings," Leng Ruoxue said with a smile. "Shuer, why are you talking so much nonsense with them? Now that they don't have any strength left, they can only let us do whatever we want, hee. Shuang said with a smirk. "Stupid fox, what do you want?" When the head of the Hong family heard Shui Ying's words, the anger in his heart surged. He was now extremely regretful. Why didn't he kill this fox earlier? Even if he wanted to kill it now, he couldn't. I don't want anything. However, now that your two clans have suffered heavy losses, we're perfectly fine. Do you understand what I mean? Shuang deliberately didn't make himself clear. What conditions do you have? As long as my Yen family can do it, just state them. The first elder of the Yen clan quickly said. He and the head of the Hong clan were both smart people, so they naturally understood the meaning behind this fox's words. However, the two of them used different methods. The head of the Hong clan was angry, while he wanted to win them over because they really needed the help of these people now. With their help, the Hong clan would definitely be easily captured. Actually, it wasn't as if the head of the Hong family didn't understand this logic. Unfortunately, his rationality had been replaced by anger. Therefore, as soon as he heard Shui Ying's words, he would reflexively shout and curse. Old man, you're the most sensible one. Shui Ying said with a smile. What conditions do you have? As long as it's within my Yen clan's means, I will not object. Yen tribe's first elder repeated, afraid that Shui Ying and the others would not believe him. The first condition. We want Yen Ling. Shui Ying said indifferently. Ah. When the Yen clan's great elder heard Shui Ying's first condition, he couldn't help but wipe the cold sweat off his forehead. What did they want Yen Ling for? He couldn't have taken a fancy to Yen Ling-er's beauty, right? After taking a look at Leng Ruoxue, he felt that the possibility of this was not very high. Then, what was the reason? He couldn't help but let his imagination run wild. How is it, Great Elder Yen? Is there a problem? Shui Ying asked with a smile that was not a smile. I wonder what you guys want Yen Ling for? After thinking for a while, Yen clan's first elder asked. Thanks, of course it's for revenge. The Yen family's old master and his daughter wanted to kill us. Now that the old master is dead, Yen Ling is the only one left, so we can only reluctantly accept him. Of course, you can also refuse, Great Elder. Think carefully. Shui Ying warned him cautiously. After the Great Elder heard Shui Ying's words, he fell into deep thought again. AI. Although he didn't know why Yen Ling wanted to kill them, if Yen Ling fell into their hands, she would definitely not have a good ending. However, this was one of the conditions for these people to help their Yen clan. If he didn't agree, these people would definitely change their direction to help the Hong clan, or they would capture both of them in one fell swoop and benefit from the situation. These two consequences, no matter which one it was, were not something they could bear. However, if he handed Yen Ling over to them and let the clan head know, he didn't know if he would be dissatisfied. After all, Yen Ling was his biological granddaughter. If he didn't hand her over, he was afraid that they would have to die here. For a time, the Yen clan's first elder was in a dilemma. After waiting for a while, Shui Ying saw that the Yen clan's great elder was still thinking, and couldn't help but ask, Great Elder, have you not decided yet? You're not efficient enough. I can give Yen Ling to you, but you have to guarantee the safety of our Yen family. The Yen clan's great elder finally spoke. In fact, this was just a temporary measure. His plan was to agree to it first, and then make plans after returning to the Yen clan. At most, he would compensate them with some other things. After all, whether he would really hand Yen Ling over to them or not, he had to get the approval of the clan head. Don't believe his words. He's lying to you. He would never hand Yen Ling over to you. However, if you're willing to help our Hong clan, I'm willing to hand Yen Ling over to you to deal with. At this moment, the head of the Hong family, who saw that they were about to reach an agreement, was truly anxious. You have to believe in the Yen clan's sincerity. We won't lie to you. Yen tribe's first elder quickly said. Hee. Master Hong, we're not fools. We have our own judgment, so there's no need for you to worry. Shui Ying said, unappreciative. Right. You have to believe in your own judgment. The Yen family's reputation has always been better than the Hong family's. Yen tribe's first elder echoed. However, there's no proof, so it's better for Great Elder Yen to make an oath. Shui Ying changed the topic. Ah. The Yen clan's first elder was dumbfounded. He didn't think that the other party would actually want him to swear an oath. Woo! Could an oath be casually made? If he couldn't do it after he sent it, he would end up very miserable. "I'll swear on the bloodline of your Yen clan," Snow Shadow added, and with this addition, the Yen clan's first elder even had the thought of killing himself. Fuck! What a cunning fox, making him swear on his family's bloodline. In this way, it was impossible for him to go back on his words, because if he did, he would not be the only one in trouble, but the entire Yen family. This was no small matter. If he really agreed, even if the family head wanted to object, it would be useless. But if he didn't agree, these people would not help him at all. Woo, what should he do? Yen tribe's first elder was extremely depressed. And when Shuang saw Yen tribe's first elder's expression, he could not help but laugh to himself, hee hee. Old fox, let's see what you're going to do now. Don't think that beastie can be easily deceived. The consequences of lying to beastie were very serious. At the thought of this, Shuang decided to double the compensation that they had originally set. Who asked the Yen clan's first elder to deceive them? Chapter 1358, Condition 2, Great Elder Yen, are you afraid? Aren't you taking too long to think about this? Our patience is limited. Seeing that Yen tribe's first elder did not speak for a long time, Shui Ying's patience gradually ran out. "I'll agree to it." The Yen clan's great elder helplessly sighed. For the sake of the entire Yen clan, what was the big deal in sacrificing Yen Linger? I'm sure the family head would have made the same decision if he knew about it. He could not help but comfort himself in his heart. The reason why he thought this way was because the family head had once said that he would give up on the father and daughter. Although they didn't dare to take his words seriously, at this time, he could only firmly insist on the patriarch's words. Otherwise, none of them would be able to return to the Yen clan. At this time, the Yen clan's great elder had made it very clear. Since that's the case, then Yen clan's first elder can make a blood oath. Shuang said with a smile. Other than handing over Yen Ling to you, what other conditions do you have? Before making the blood oath, the Yen clan's first elder asked worriedly. He didn't forget that this was only the first condition that this fox had raised, and just the first condition made him so conflicted. The other conditions also made him afraid. What if these guys wanted to take the clan head's life? Could it be that they would also give it to him? Don't worry, we only have 2 conditions. The first is to have Yen Ling Yen Ling and her father have caused a serious trauma to our hearts. Therefore, your Yen family must compensate us. As for the compensation, well, draw up a list, and you just need to compensate us according to the list. Shuang explained in an understanding manner. Oh. After hearing Shui Ying's words, Yen tribe's first elder's heart relaxed quite a bit. However, he still couldn't help but sigh in his heart. Which part of you looks like you've been hurt? In his opinion, it was more like the father and daughter had suffered a psychological trauma. However, he didn't dare to say this out loud. After all, he really needed her help now. Great Elder Yen, you can swear now. Shuang said. Alright, he said. Yen tribe's first elder nodded, then started to read the contract. With the descent of a contract rule, the Yen clan first elder's bloodline oath was officially established. Now, you can fulfill your promise, right? Yen tribe's first elder said. Of course. Don't worry, Great Elder Yen. If we don't fulfill our promise, your oath won't come into effect, so there's no need to worry. Snow Shadow consoled. How could he not be anxious? The Yen clan's first elder thought to himself. However, he was the one who had a favor to ask, so he did not dare to push the other party too much. If he were to make the other party anxious and turn around to help the Hong clan, the loss would outweigh the gain. Shua. The deal has been made. Shuang turned to Leng Ruoxua and said. Big brother Yin, I'll have to trouble you. Leng Ruoxua looked at Yin Shao and asked. She had mentioned to Yin Xiao before that she wanted to borrow his men. Yin Xiao had a good impression of Leng Ruoxue and the others, so he naturally had no reason to reject her. It's just a matter of raising one's hand. Yi Xiao laughed. He liked to rub salt into the Hong family's wounds. After all, they were also the target of the Hong family. Thanks then, he gave a look to his subordinates. Yin Xiao's subordinates immediately gathered the injured members of the Hong family together. This naturally included the Hong sisters, Hong Lian and Hong Xian. When the master of the Hong family saw this, he roared in disbelief, "What do you want? Our Hong family is not to be trifled with, don't stand on the wrong side. Master Hong, you don't need to remind us. We know what we are doing," Yin Xiao said with a smile. He had a deep understanding of how thick-skinned the head of the Hong family could be. He was clearly someone who wanted to kill them, but now he was willing to rope them in to survive. These words didn't sound right no matter how one heard it. It seemed to be more of a threat. Don't regret it. You'll end up in a miserable state for offending our Hong family. The head of the Hong family said. Even if I didn't offend you, you would still want to kill us, right? Since that's the case, what do we have to be afraid of? Yin Xiao laughed and said disapprovingly. If you don't help the Yan clan, I'm willing to let you go. The head of the Hong family sighed. Master Hong, it's too late to say anything now. Besides, it's not about you letting me go, but whether we will let you go. Yin Xiao reminded him speechlessly. Such a supercilious and self-righteous person was actually the head of a family. This was simply too unbelievable. Big brother Yin, don't waste your breath on him. He won't understand. Leng Ruoxue said impatiently. Leng Ruoxue, don't forget that you're my woman. The master of the Hong family shouted angrily when he heard Leng Ruoxue's words. Master Hong, do you have dementia? When did I become your woman? How come I didn't know? Leng Ruoxue said helplessly. At the same time, she thought to herself, this master of the Hong family is really delusional. He actually said that she was his woman, sigh. Since he wanted to court death, then he couldn't blame her. As expected, the moment Leng Ruoxue's words left her mouth, the infuriated evildoer threw a punch at Master Hong's body. Bang! Bang! With the sound of fists hitting flesh, the master of the Hong family's body was soon covered in wounds. It was a terrible sight. In addition, Master Hong's physical strength was almost exhausted and he had no strength to fight back. Therefore, he could only let the evildoer do whatever he wanted. Ugh! When the Yan clan's first elder saw the Hong clan's clan master's miserable state, he couldn't help but turn his head and think to himself, fuck. This man's attack was really too heavy. Poor Master Hong. He didn't even dare to look at her now. However, he was very happy in his heart. Who asked the first elder of the Hong family to injure their patriarch? They had always wanted to take revenge, but they had never had the chance to do so. In addition, the first elder of the Hong family was extremely powerful. There was really no one in the Yan family who could deal with the first elder. The only person who had the same strength as the first elder was the family head, who had been injured by the first elder. Therefore, they had been holding back their anger. Now that they saw the family head of the Hong family being beaten up, they felt very relieved. However, the evildoer's performance was not something that just anyone could watch. After beating the Hong clan head into a pulp, the evildoer strode over to the Yan clan's first elder and stared unblinkingly at him, causing the Yan clan's first elder's heart to race like a little deer. Woo! What was this terrifying man staring at him for? He didn't offend this scary man, did he? His little heart was palpitating. Chapter 1359, Condition 3, Yan clan's first elder, right? Was my performance good? The demon asked with a smile that was not a smile. Ah. It's good. It's nice. The Yan clan's first elder hurriedly said with a look of fear. Woo. What did this man mean? Did he want to beat him up? Since it's so good, pay up. The demon extended his hand in front of the Yen clan's first elder. Ah! Because of the evildoer's words, Yen tribe's first elder's forehead was full of black lines. He thought to himself, what kind of situation is this? He had only taken a few glances at the grand scene of Master Hung being beaten up. Why did he have to collect money from him? The Yen clan's first elder had lived for so long, but he had never encountered such a thing. Thus, he did not react for a moment and only looked at the evildoer in a daze. First elder of the Yen clan, pay up. It's useless to act dumb. The demon said patiently. Brother Yi, I think this first elder of the Yen clan is probably scared out of his wits. Why don't you write down this debt first, and when you go to the Yen clan head, I think the Yen clan won't go back on their word. Yin Xiao suggested, suppressing his laughter. Shuai and the others were really too interesting. How did they come up with so many wicked ideas? This time, not only was the Hong family in trouble, even the Yen family was dumbfounded. It's not that I can't write it down, but I'll calculate the interest. I'm afraid that Great Elder Yen won't be able to afford it even if he sells himself. The demon reminded him with a troubled expression. Ah! How much do you want? Upon hearing the words, selling himself, the Yen clan's first elder suddenly came back to his senses and hurriedly asked. He even secretly wiped the cold sweat off his forehead and thought, that was close. He could tell that these people were all ruthless people. Not much. 100 top-grade crystals it is. The demon lightly said. 100 top-grade crystals is not a lot. Yen tribe's first elder almost vomited blood after hearing the demon's words. This was really a lion's mouth. He had only watched the show for a while, so why did he have to pay the price of 100 top-grade crystals? Even if he owned a crystal mine, he would not be able to afford such an expensive price. At the thought of this, he couldn't help but worry about the compensation these people were asking for. Great Elder Yen can't even pay 100 top-grade crystals. The demon said with an expression of disbelief. In other words, he was saying that the Yen clan was a little too poor. It doesn't matter if you can't pay. I'll keep the accounts for you and calculate the interest. You can work for me. When you pay off your debt to me, we'll be even. By the way, the money you owe me will be compounded with interest. The demon added. I can afford it. The Yen clan's great elder's face was filled with pain. Even as the great elder of the Yen clan, it would take him a long time to save up 100 pieces of top-grade crystals. However, just because he had watched the show for a while, those 100 pieces of top-grade crystals had left him just like that. Woo! He was really depressed. Although he had thought of reneging on the debt for a moment, once he thought of the other party's terrifying means that made his heart tremble, he decided to spend money to avoid disaster. After all, he did not want to be like the Hong clan's head. He had been beaten up so badly. Moreover, he still had a favor to ask of him. Hand it over. The demon said impolitely. The Yen clan's first elder unwillingly took out 100 top-grade crystals from his storage ring and handed them to the demon with a pained expression. The demon naturally accepted them without any hesitation. Then, his gaze turned to the other members of the Yen family. Although they were all injured, their eyes were not injured. Therefore, they were also part of the crowd. Everyone from the Yen clan subconsciously lowered their heads when they saw the evildoer's probing gaze. They did not dare to look at him, afraid that they would also become the target of slaughter. However, regardless of whether they looked at the evildoer or not, the result was destined. Now it's your turn. The elders of the Yen family and the great elder have the same price, 100 top-grade crystals. As for the ordinary clansmen, the price was halved. If anyone says they don't have money, they can also choose to work for me and slowly pay me back. The demon laughed evilly. The evildoer's words made the Yen clansmen, who had their heads lowered and did not dare to look at him, lower their heads even more. However, if they thought that they could renege on their debt by lowering their heads, then they had made a mistake. This was because Shuang had already walked to their side and was collecting money from everyone. Looking at their great elder, the Yen clansmen unwillingly took out the crystals they had been saving up for a long time. Their hearts were bleeding, but with the great elder as a precedent, they did not dare to not pay the money. Oh! What a demon! Their hard-earned money. It was gone just like that. At this moment, the Yen family members were furious but didn't dare to speak up. After collecting the money, Snow Shadow took the initiative to pass the crystal stones to Leng Ruoxue. It then stood obediently by Leng Ruoxue's side, acting as a qualified beast pet. Brother, yes, money-making methods are truly superb. Yin Xiao admires you. Yin Xiao said enviously. He also wanted to be like this demonic man and rob others, but he couldn't do such a thing. Thanks, I have no choice. I have to feed my family. Everyone in the family is waiting for Jingshi to be put into the pot. The demon pretended to be pitiful. Hee hee. Brother, yes, family must have many people. Are these Jingshi enough? Yin Xiao asked curiously. In other words, he was asking if he still wanted to continue robbing. Of course it's not enough. This amount of Jingshi is not even enough to fill the gaps between my teeth. The demon said gloomily. After he finished speaking, he even deliberately sighed. When everyone from the Yen clan heard the demon's words, they all fainted at the same time. They didn't want to face this vampire anymore. This demon. Yen clan's first elder, your clansmen have all fainted. What do you do? We can't bring them back to the Yen residence. We were only willing to help them because we thought they could go back on their own, but now. Why don't we just leave them here? It's also a contribution to the beasts in the small forest. Who asked you to be neighbors for so many years? The demon paused for a moment before continuing. As soon as the evildoer finished speaking, the people from the Yen family who had fainted woke up one by one. This showed the power of the evildoer's words. When Leng Ruoxue and the rest saw this, they couldn't help but laugh to themselves. These people from the Yen clan were really funny. Seeing this, the demon smiled and said, Great Elder Yen, since your clansmen have woken up, let's go. Stop wasting time. His so-called journey naturally meant that they had to go to the Yen residence, and the Yen clan's great elder understood what he meant. However, ever since he saw this evil-looking man as a demon in his heart, he didn't really want them to go. However, he didn't dare to say this out loud. Otherwise, he was afraid that this man would beat him up like how he beat up the Hong clan head. It was too terrifying. Then, the evildoer ordered the awakened members of the Yen clan to escort the members of the Hong clan towards Yen City. Upon entering Yen City, the Yen clan's grand elder invited Leng Ruoxue and her group into the main residence. He did not dare to show any neglect and went to report to the clan head. In reality, they had gone to intercept the Hong family's team without telling the family head. After all, the family head was injured and it was not appropriate for him to worry about these facts. Although the Yen family had suffered quite a lot of losses this time, they were lucky to have caught the Hong family's team. This could be considered as an explanation to the family head. However, when he thought of the conditions that Leng Ruoxue and the others had proposed, he could not feel happy at all. When he arrived at the master's courtyard, he carefully reported the matter to the master. Then, like a child who had done something wrong, he stood uneasily by the master's bed, his head lowered in silence. Those people want Ling? The patriarch of the Yen clan asked after a long while. Yes, I had no choice but to agree. Otherwise, they would have definitely changed sides and helped the Hong family deal with us. The Yen clan's first elder explained. What compensation do they want? The patriarch asked again. Patriarch, I'm not sure about this. They said that after they come up with the list, we only need to compensate them according to the requirements. However, I think they will definitely ask for an exorbitant price, so we'd better be prepared. Yen tribe's first elder warned. How exactly did they become a match for Ling and her father? The Yen clan leader asked again. These things were just worldly possessions. As long as they could protect the Yen clan's foundation, he didn't care about losing some worldly possessions. However, he was more concerned about how those people would form a grudge with the Yen clan. He had always been very strict with his clansmen and had often warned them not to cause trouble outside. If this brought disaster to the family, they could not blame the family for being merciless. However, who knew that after he was injured, some people thought that he would not live long and no longer took his words to heart. His eldest son was one of them. This son of his had never let him be free of worry since he was young. In the past, with his restraints, he did not dare to do as he pleased. However, ever since he was injured, he became more and more uncontrollable. In addition, Linger had been spoiled since she was young. He did not believe that the father and daughter together would not cause trouble. In fact, he had sent them to northern Yen City because there was no one else in his family to send. Yen Kuan, the city lord of northern Yen City, not only shared the same surname as him, but also had a deep friendship with him. Therefore, as long as his son did not make any big mistakes, Yen Kuan would not be too calculative for his sake. Therefore, he was at ease to let them go. However, he did not expect that his son would still cause trouble. Suddenly, he thought of the people sent by Yen Kuan, and his mind became clear. It seemed that those people had come to inform him of this matter. However, he had been injured and could not meet with guests. Therefore, he only knew that his eldest son and granddaughter had caused trouble at this moment. Yen Kuan must have caused a lot of trouble for his troublesome son and granddaughter to send people here. Now that his son was dead, and his granddaughter was targeted by others, and the great elder had been forced to swear an oath on his bloodline, he couldn't refuse even if he wanted to. After all, the Yen clan was indeed indebted to them. Otherwise, if the other party had changed his direction and helped the Hong clan deal with the great elder and the others, he would probably not be able to see them at this moment. If that really happened, it would be a fatal blow to the Yen clan. Chapter 1360, Cold Frost Pill. 1. The head of the Yen clan was a very rational and wise person. He wouldn't blindly cover up his shortcomings and be unable to distinguish right from wrong. Therefore, he couldn't say anything about the other party's actions. Moreover, everyone's standpoint and perspective were different. Therefore, although he was dissatisfied, he could still look at these problems very rationally. After all, the other party didn't have the obligation to think for the Yen clan in all aspects, and he couldn't ask them to take it for granted. It was precisely because he had such thoughts that he did not fly into a rage out of humiliation after listening to the great elder's report. Instead, he was more used to looking for problems from his own side, which was why he was able to protect the Yen clan. A few years later, when Len Ruoxue had already reached a height that no one could reach, he could not help but secretly rejoice. Fortunately, he had been wise enough back then and had not chosen to make an enemy out of her. Otherwise, the Yen clan would not have existed. After sorting out his thoughts, the Yen clan master called his second son over and ordered him to go to the guest courtyard to see Ziyu and the others. Now, he was almost certain that the other party must have some kind of connection with the person the great elder had mentioned. After second master Yen received his father's order, he went straight to the guest courtyard. When he arrived at the guest house, he found two people he had never seen before and a huge white fox. He immediately understood that these should be the people his father and the great elder had mentioned. At this moment, Len Ruoxue, the demon, and Shuang were sitting in the garden, chatting with Ziyu and the others. When they saw second master Yen, they stopped and stared at him. Under their gazes, second master Yan's heart was beating rapidly. Wu, why did these people give him so much pressure? He really wanted to cry. Second master Yen, why are you here? Ziyu chuckled, asking despite knowing the answer. I'm here to see everyone. Who are these? Second master Yan's gaze swept across Len Ruoxue and the rest. The more he looked, the more shocked he became. He had thought that Ziyu and the rest were already the most beautiful he had ever seen. However, after seeing this pair of peerless beauties, he finally understood that there was always someone better. He had lived for more than 40 years and had seen many outstanding people, but this was the first time he had seen someone who could make people not dare to look at him directly just by looking at his appearance. He really didn't know how his big brother and his incompetent niece had provoked such a person. If this matter was not resolved properly, it would definitely be a great disaster for the Yen clan. This is my family's young lady. This is young Master Yi, young Lattice husband. That fox is my young Lattice beast pet. Ziyu gave a simple introduction. In the divine realm, for the sake of convenience, they would tell the outside world that Yi Chen was the young Miss husband, in case there were blind people who wanted to hit on the young Miss. May I know how to address you, Miss? The second master of the Yen clan was secretly surprised. He didn't expect that a godlike figure like Ziyu would actually have a master. This was simply too unbelievable. Never in his dreams would he have thought that they would have such a relationship. My master's surname is Leng. Shuang spoke on behalf of Leng Ruoxue. Hello, Miss Leng. I'm very polite. The Yen clan's second master very courteously saluted. Thanks, second master Yen, you don't have to be so polite. I can't accept it. Leng Ruoxue said with a faint smile. She was thinking to herself, even if you're so respectful, don't think you'll let Yen Ling-er off. Miss Leng, I know that Big Brother and Ling-er have offended you, but now that Big Brother is dead, we are willing to hand Ling-er over to you to deal with and compensate for the harm you have suffered. So, I hope that Miss Leng will not take their rudeness to heart. The second master of the Yen clan said straightforwardly. His words had also expressed the Yen clan's attitude. They would do everything according to the conditions laid out by Leng Ruoxue and the others. Their only request was for the other party to not haggle over this matter. Even though they were still unclear of Leng Ruoxue's identity, but for Yen Kun, the city lord of Yen Bay City, to value her so much, her identity must not be ordinary. Therefore, they took the initiative to express their goodwill. After all, their father's principle in dealing with people had always been to not look down on anyone, even if they were temporarily in dire straits. It was precisely because of his father's humble attitude towards others that his father had a wide range of friends. At the same time, it also allowed the Yen family's business to be successful. It's good that the Yen clan has thought of it. With Yen Ling-er and a little compensation, you want me to let go of the fact that they wanted to kill me? Leng Ruoxue laughed coldly. If Miss Leng has any other requests, please state them. As long as it's within our Yen clan's capabilities, we're willing to do our best to satisfy them. The Yen clan's second master continued as he wiped the cold sweat off his forehead. I haven't thought of it yet. I'll tell you when I think of it. Leng Ruoxue said indifferently and did not say anything else. Ah. Looking at Leng Ruoxue's expression, second master Yen knew that she was still in a fit of anger and did not intend to have a good talk with him. He sighed helplessly, and then casually chatted with Ziyu and the others for a while, before he got up and left the guest courtyard. Originally, he wanted to ask the other party how his big brother and Ling-er had offended them, and also to test the other party's thoughts. Unfortunately, the other party did not give him any chance at all. After leaving the guest courtyard, he went to report to his father about the gains of the guest courtyard. Then, he went to find the subordinates who followed his big brother to understand the situation. As she watched second master Yan's back, Ziyu smiled and said, Miss, hasn't the list of compensation already been drawn up? Why don't you just give it to him? No rush. If he comes to you again to ask about the situation, you should reveal a little. Leng Ruoxue ordered. Actually, she did not hand the list of compensation to the other party immediately because she wanted to keep him in suspense. Otherwise, she was sure that the other party would not be as calm as he was now when he saw the list of compensation. Thus, she was waiting for the best opportunity to demand an exorbitant price. She wanted to make the Yen clan anxious and angry, but at the same time, there was nothing she could do. When that time came, no matter what conditions she offered, the other party would not reject her. He didn't dare to have any other thoughts. Good. Young lady, how should we deal with Yen Ling-er? Ziyu asked again. Didn't the Yen family not send Yen Ling-er over yet? After they bring Yen Ling-er here, well, let Bai Su handle her. Leng Ruoxue said after some thought. Chapter 1361, Cold Frost Pill, 2, Hehe. Young miss, you found the right person by handing that Yen Ling to me. Our White Tiger clan has many ways to deal with prisoners. I will definitely make her regret being born into this world. Bai Su promised with an evil smile. Since you're so confident, I'll wait and see. Leng Ruoxua nodded. She had heard that the White Tiger race had many ways to torture their enemies, which was why she had handed him over to Bai Su. Leave it to me. Don't worry. That's right, miss. Do you want her to die, live, or be half dead? Bai Su could not help but ask. Of course, well, let her live first, then half dead, and finally make her wish she was dead. When the punishment is enough, you can deal with it directly. Leng Ruoxua chuckled. Ah. Miss. Your requirements are so high. Bai Zu's forehead was full of black lines. He finally understood that he could offend anyone but women. No wonder people often said that women's hearts were the most vicious. It seemed that the eyes of the masses were sharp. What's wrong? Is there any difficulty? If you can't do it, then I'll let Shuiying do it. Leng Ruoxua laughed evilly. Shuer, leave it to me. I'll definitely make that woman regret ever being born in this world. Shuiying immediately promised upon hearing Leng Ruoxua's words. Miss. I can do it well. Bai Su quickly said when he heard that someone was snatching his job. Then you can come at me together. After Leng Ruoxua finished speaking, she stood up and left the garden with the evildoer. At the same time, after the Yen clan's second master understood the situation from the guards by his eldest brother's side, he immediately sent Yen Ling to the side courtyard and handed her over to Ziyu and the others. He was furious. A maidservant? Which part of her looked like a maidservant? He really doubted his big brother and niece's judgment. Now, it was all good. Because of their arrogance, they had brought big trouble to the Yen family. After handing over Yen Ling he ran to the main courtyard to greet his father and repeated the situation reported by the guards to his father. After the Yen family head heard it, he did not say anything. He just sighed and closed his eyes to rest. When second master Yen saw this, he immediately turned around and left his father's room to avoid disturbing his father's rest. In the next few days, Yen Ling Heir's painful cries would often be heard from the guest courtyard, scaring the other people of the Yen clan. Everyone was in a panic, afraid that they would be the next one. Yin Xiao, Leng Ruoxua, and the others sat in the garden and chatted. They drank tea while listening to the painful howls coming from the room. Yin Xiao's forehead was filled with black lines. He couldn't help but ask, Shuer, why don't you borrow the Yen family's prison cell? Don't you think her screams are too noisy? There's nothing we can do about it if you find it noisy. We're dealing with the Yen family's young lady. If we borrow their prison cells, wouldn't that be a little too much? Leng Ruoxua said in an understanding manner. Ah. But, her voice is too loud. Yi Xiao said speechlessly. Yu Qing, get Shuiying and Bai Xian to block her mouth. Big brother Yin can't stand her voice. After Leng Ruoxua heard Yin Xiao's words, she immediately instructed Yu Jing, who was beside her. Yes. Yu Qing held back her laughter, turned around, and left. Thanks. Leng Ruoxua's words made Yin Xiao's expression darken even more. He couldn't help but think to himself, I can't stand hearing this, but you guys are used to it. As if she knew what Yin Xiao was thinking, Leng Ruoxua looked at Yin Xiao's expression and smiled, Big brother Yin, if you stay here for a few days, you'll get used to it like us. Ah. I'd better not get used to it. Yin Xiao was helpless. It seemed like Shuer and the others enjoyed this kind of life, but he didn't. He couldn't stand a woman yelling all day long. It would affect his rest. Ha ha ha. I am very sincere in inviting older brother Yin to stay with us. Leng Ruoxua laughed evilly. Shuer, please spare me. I still want to live for a few more years. Yin Xiao fearfully said. Older brother Yin, you are a man. How can you be so timid? Leng Ruoxua said, pretending to disagree. Shuer, please let me go. However, I want to know how long you want to torture her. Yin Shao asked curiously. It depends on Shuiying and Bai Zu's mood. I've already handed that woman over to them. Len Ruoxue said irresponsibly. When do you plan to get the Yan clan's compensation? Yin Shao asked again. I should be waiting for a few days. Big brother Yin, do you want to make a profit from the Hong family's matter this time? Len Ruoxue asked with a smile. Ah. You want to rob the Hong family too? I thought that you would want the head of the Hong family to die. After all, he has always wanted to take advantage of you. Yin Shao reminded. I don't care about the Hong clan at all. Besides, the head of the Hong clan is in the hands of the Yan clan now. The Yan clan will not be willing to hand him over to me, nor will they kill him. The Yan clan is also hoping to use the head of the Hong clan to get some benefits. If she wanted Yan Ling in compensation, the other party would definitely give it to her. However, if she wanted the head of the Hong family, the Yan family would definitely not agree to it. Thus, she naturally would not ask for it. However, this did not prevent her from getting some compensation from the Hong family. After all, the father and daughter of the Hong family had schemed against her many times. That makes sense. But, how can we profit from the Hong family? Yin Shao's face was puzzled. While the Yan clan wants the benefits, they should also bring out our share. Len Ruoxue replied matter-of-factly. Ah. Will the Yan clan agree? Yin Shao's face was filled with question marks. If he doesn't agree, then just reveal your identity. If the Hong family head wants to kill us, the Yan family will be waiting to see the Hong family make a fool of themselves. Why would I not agree? Len Ruoxue laughed evilly. It's not too good to reveal my identity, right? People will say that I'm taking advantage of my power to bully others. Yin Shao was a little hesitant. He didn't mind getting some compensation from the Hong family, but if he had to reveal his identity as the Yin family's young master to get the compensation, he was a little hesitant. Len Ruoxue couldn't help but laugh when she saw Yin Shao's serious expression. Ha ha ha. Big brother Yin, I was just joking with you. You took it seriously. Shuer. You bad girl, you even played me. When Yin Shao heard Len Ruoxue's words, he didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Chapter 1362, Cold Frost Pill, 3, Big Brother Yin, I'm not playing with you. I meant it when I said I would get some compensation from the Hong family, but you naturally don't need to reveal your identity. Len Ruoxue said seriously. Will the Yan clan do as we say? Yin Shao asked curiously. They can't wait to see the Hong family become a joke. Furthermore, the great elder of the Hong family is said to be very powerful. No one in the Yan family can deal with him. However, that great elder should not be difficult to deal with for brother Yin. Len Ruoxue reminded. You mean, you want me to help the Yan clan deal with the Hong clan's first elder? Yin Shao asked. Of course not. The Yan clan and the Hong clan have suffered heavy losses in this battle. Naturally, they wouldn't wish for any conflict between the two clans in the short term. What I mean is that we should let them know our strength appropriately. Only then will the Yan clan be willing to seek justice from the Hong clan on our behalf. Len Ruoxue explained. Your idea is not bad. However, we have to find a suitable time to show off our strength. Otherwise, why would the Yan clan value us? Yin Shao said. Hee hee. As long as brother Yin is mentally prepared for this, it's fine. Furthermore, there's no need to find an opportunity. The Yan clan will give us this opportunity. In a moment, I'll send someone to inform the Yan clan of this matter. At that time, well, just act according to the Yan clan's reaction. Len Ruoxue chuckled. Good. I'll listen to your arrangements. Yin Shao nodded. Big brother Yin, if the Yin family heard what you said, would they come and scold me? Len Ruoxue asked curiously. They dare. If anyone dares to come and scold you, I'll ruthlessly take care of them. Yin Shao shouted. Ha ha ha. Big brother Yi is so bold. Leng Ruoxua smiled as she finished speaking. She then instructed Yu Qing to inform the Yan clan's great elder about this matter while she continued to chat with Yin Shao. Not long after, Yu Qing returned. Moon Eye. What's wrong? Things aren't going well. Leng Ruoxua saw that Yu Qing's expression wasn't too good and couldn't help but ask curiously. Miss. I found the Yan clan's first elder and told him about this matter, but who knew that he would actually say that he wanted to discuss it with the clan head and the other elders. This is really infuriating. Yu Qing said unhappily. It's normal. This is within my expectations. Leng Ruoxua said disapprovingly. Miss. You're not angry? Yu Qing asked in disbelief. Miss' reaction was so calm. One had to know that when she heard the Yan clan's first elder's reply, her lungs were about to explode from anger. If I'm angry because of this, I'd be dead already. Moon Eye. Calm down. Our request is a little beyond their expectations, so it's normal for them to need to discuss it. Leng Ruoxua smiled as she consoled him. Thanks, miss. I suggest that we continue to increase the compensation to the Yan clan. I don't believe that the Yan family won't be so heartbroken that they'll vomit blood. Yu Qing said furiously. Moon Eye. If that's the case, the Yan clan won't be treating us with courtesy anymore. Leng Ruoxua said with a smile. The Yan family had already expected them to demand an exorbitant price, so they were already prepared for it. Although the list she had given would cause the Yan family to feel some heartache, it wasn't to the extent that the Yan family couldn't bear it. However, if it was as Yu Qing had said and they continued to increase the compensation, the Yan family would definitely be unable to accept it and retaliate. If that happened, the harmonious scene that she had created would be completely destroyed. This was not what she wanted. Basically, she was quite satisfied with the Yan family's current performance. At least the master, who had never shown his face before, still had some brains. Otherwise, she would not be able to stay here temporarily. As for whether or not Yanbei City would continue to cooperate with the Yan clan, and how they would cooperate, it would depend on the Yan clan's performance. At this moment, in the Yan residence's main hall, other than the family head who was bedridden, all the elders were gathered. Even the elders who were injured from the conflict with the Hong family were gathered. However, they were not sure what had happened. Seeing that almost everyone had arrived, the Yan clan's first elder cleared his throat and slowly said, I've called you here because I have something important to discuss with you, great elder. You must have something important to tell us, so you might as well just say it. A certain elder with a fiery temper couldn't stand the great elder's slow temperament and shouted anxiously. He was only short of pointing at the great elder's nose and saying, hurry up and say what you want. Don't talk nonsense. You should know that the head of the Hong family and a few of their elders are in our hands. The Yan clan's first elder sighed lightly. However, his words were also regarded as nonsense by the other elders, just that no one said it out loud. Yes. The elders nodded and continued to wait for the next part. There's been a little mishap. Yan clan's first elder said. What happened? Could the Hong family have run away? Or is the first elder of the Hong family already here? An elder guessed. None of them. Someone is trying to get a share of the Hong family's profits. Yan tribe's first elder finally revealed the reason why he had asked the elders to come. Great elder. What do you mean by that? Who wants a piece of the cake? Some of the elders did not understand the Yan clan's first elder's words and asked with question marks on their faces. The ones who helped us deal with the Yan clan. Just now, they sent someone to say that they want the Hong family to compensate them as well. The Yan clan's first elder explained. Oh. I was wondering what it was. Since they also wanted the Hong family to compensate, then let the Hong family compensate as well. It's not like you want us to pay, so why did you gather all of us in such a hurry? An elder said in dissatisfaction. What do you know? Originally, we only wanted the Hong family to compensate us for our losses and also cure the master's illness, but the Hong family might not even agree to it. Now, if we add their compensation, the Hong family will definitely not agree. We can ask for less compensation, but the master's illness can't be delayed any longer. Other than the first elder, no one else can help with this illness, so I gathered you all here to discuss how we should deal with this matter. If we refuse them, we have to find a good reason. The Yen clan's first elder said with a face full of headache. He didn't want to offend the people living in his Yen clan now. However, if the Hong clan asked for too much, the first elder would not agree at all. He might even tell them directly that the Hong clan members in their hands were not worth that much money. That eccentric old man would definitely do such a thing. Chapter 1363, Cold Frost Pill, 4. After hearing the Yen clan's first elder's words, all the elders fell silent. After hearing the first elder's explanation, they also realized the seriousness of the matter. The first elder of the Hong family wasn't the patriarch of the Yen family. Not only was that old man powerful, but he was also very stingy. It wasn't easy to get compensation from him, and they might want more than one, which made it a bit difficult. First elder, it's not easy to deal with the Hong family. I'm afraid that those people are not easy to negotiate with. Moreover, the compensation we have to pay is still in their hands. Why don't you go and tell them what exactly they need to give a straightforward answer? If this drags on, the longer it drags on, the more uncertain I will be. One of the elders said fearfully. He didn't know why, but compared to the head elder of the Hong family, he seemed to be more afraid of the people living in the guest house. You think I don't want to know? In the beginning, I sent people to ask every day, but they told me that they hadn't decided yet. What could I do? The Yen clan's first elder said in a depressed manner. Ah. It's been a few days, why haven't you decided yet? The elders were all puzzled. I don't know, but you'd better be prepared. This time, the Yen clan will definitely bleed a lot. Yen tribe's first elder was afraid that the other elders were not mentally prepared, so he cautiously reminded them again. Great elder. Does the head of the family know that the other party also wants the Hong family to compensate? At this moment, another elder asked. I haven't mentioned this to the master yet. I don't want him to worry about this, so don't let him know about this. The Yen clan's first elder reminded the other elders. However, did the other party say what their reason for wanting compensation is? After the elders nodded, they continued to ask. He said it. The other party said that the Hong family head also wanted to kill them and caused them to panic, so they asked for compensation from the Hong family. The Yen clan's first elder said speechlessly. He really did not know who was the one who caused panic. Why was it that when someone asked for compensation, they asked for it so naturally? On the other hand, they had to be overcautious. He also wanted to be like the other party. However, as soon as he thought of the devilish man's money-making methods, his heart began to beat faster. Great elder, since the other party's reason is so sufficient, then you should directly speak to the Hong family's great elder like this. As for whether the Hong family will compensate them or not, that's not something we can decide. An elder suggested. I've thought about it, but am afraid that the great elder of the Hong family will fly into a rage out of humiliation. You all know that no one on the divine mainland can cure our patriarch's injuries. With our strength, it's impossible for us to go to the divine world to ask for elixirs. There has been no news from the main family until now, so I'm sure they haven't found any elixirs that can cure our patriarch. Therefore, we can only rely on the great elder of the Hong family. I'm afraid our clan head, Yen clan's first elder only finished half of his sentence and did not continue, because he knew that all the elders present understood. First elder, this won't do, that won't do. What should we do about this? The elders of the Yen family all frowned. This matter made them feel very conflicted. After much discussion, the Yen clan's elders were still unable to come to a conclusion. The Yen clan's first elder was rather helpless. In the end, he could only go and see Leng Ruoxue personally. Thanks. In the guest courtyard, Leng Ruoxue sat on the main seat in the living room and looked at the Yan clan's first elder and the rest. She could not help but laugh in her heart. It seemed like the Yan clan's first elder and the rest could no longer keep their cool. Otherwise, they would not have come knocking on their doors so quickly. Miss Leng, your maidservant came to tell me today that you also want the Hong family to compensate. The Yan clan's first elder said with a smile. Yup. However, the people of the Hong clan are now in the hands of your Yan clan, so we can only leave our matter to Great Elder Yan. Leng Ruoxue chuckled. Young Lady Leng, I'm afraid this matter is a bit difficult to handle. Yan tribe's first elder said with a bitter face. What's so difficult about it? The patriarch of the Hong family and so many elders are in your hands. Can't the first elder of the Yan family even handle such a small matter? Or is it that the Yan clan's first elder is not giving us face and is deliberately trying to avoid it? Leng Ruoxue laughed coldly. Miss Leng, we really don't have a choice, because the first elder of the Hong family won't agree at all, and that old man is holding it. Based on my understanding of him, if the compensation we ask for is too much, he would rather give up the Hong family members in our hands than give us even a little bit of compensation. So, do you think your compensation can be excluded from our Yan family's? The Yan clan's first elder had come to an agreement, and his attitude was extremely good. The reason why he was like this was because he hoped that Leng Ruoxue would give up on her own idea. It would be best if they could settle the score with the Hong clan themselves and not involve the Yan clan. However, how could Leng Ruoxue let him have his wish? The matter between the Hong clan and I can choose not to involve your Yan clan. As long as you hand over the Hong clan head and the elders to me, I will go and discuss the compensation with the Hong clan myself. Leng Ruoxue chuckled. Ah. The Yan clan's first elder was depressed because he would never agree to Leng Ruoxue's condition. If they didn't have any important figures in the Hong clan, what bargaining chips would they have to negotiate with the Hong clan's first elder? If Great Elder Yan doesn't agree, then help us get the compensation from the Hong family. Leng Ruoxue said with a light smile. That's impossible. If you want to get any benefits from the Hong family, go and ask them for it yourself. Don't drag us into it. At this time, an elder with a bad temper from the Yan clan couldn't bear it anymore and spoke. Great Elder Yan, you have two choices. One is to hand over the people of the Hong family to me, and the other is to ask for compensation from the Hong family for us. Choose one. You guys decide for yourselves. Ziyu. Send the guest away. Leng Ruoxue glanced at the elder who spoke and said coldly. With that, she turned around and left the living room. Elders, please return. By the way, if you anger my master, you'll end up in a miserable state. Ziyu said with a smile. After she finished speaking, she even deliberately released her pressure and invited the Yan clan elders out of the guest courtyard. Chapter 1364, Cold Frost Pill. 5. The elders of the Yan clan left the guest hall in a sorry state and returned to the meeting hall drenched in sweat. At this time, their faces still carried a trace of shock and disbelief, and the back of their clothes was completely drenched in their own sweat. Never in their wildest dreams would they have thought that the man with the looks of an early-stage true god was actually hiding his true strength. What was even more unexpected was that they were unable to withstand a mere pressure from him and almost made a fool of themselves on the spot. If it wasn't for the man who had left them some face, they might not have the face to see anyone in the future. It was too terrifying. At this point, they had a new understanding of Leng Ruoxue and the others' abilities. Not long after they returned to the main hall, the elders who had gone to find Yin Shao also returned with ugly expressions. After sitting down, the elders were silent for a long time. After a long time. First elder, why don't we help them ask for compensation from the Hong family? Someone said. Sob, those people were too scary. They couldn't afford to offend him. Yup. Great Elder, although the patriarch's illness is very important, if we anger them, I'm afraid the entire Yan family will have to answer. An elder agreed. Yup, The Great Elder. We can't afford to offend these people. All the elders agreed. Right now, they were extremely resentful of the trouble that the Yen clan's eldest master had caused. If it wasn't for the fact that the Yen clan's eldest master was no longer in this world, they would definitely have given him a good beating first before handing him over to Leng Ruoxue and the others to deal with. Since that's the case, then let's settle the score with the Hong family together. Yen tribe's first elder said tearlessly, "Clan Lord. I've let you down. It was such a good opportunity, but we didn't grasp it." He couldn't help but feel sad in his heart. After making his decision, he went to the clan head's room in the main courtyard and reported the matter to him. At the same time, he also told him that there were people who seemed to be from the god realm by Leng Ruoxue's side. After the Yen family head heard this, he didn't say much and just nodded his head, letting the first elder handle it. Following that, the Yen clan's first elder paid a visit to the guest courtyard where Leng Ruoxue and the others were staying. As he sat in the living room waiting to be received, the Yen clan's first elder was extremely depressed. This was clearly his home, but why did he seem like a guest, so uneasy? Especially Ziyu, who was sitting with him not far away, made his heart thump even more. It jumped wildly without stopping. "Great Elder Yen, you've decided so quickly." At this moment, Leng Ruoxue walked in from outside and said with a smile. "Yes. Miss Leng, we've decided to help you get compensation from the Hong family." Yen tribe's first elder quickly said. "PL's read on MYB0's novel, COM, that's more like it. There's strength in numbers. Even if that first elder of the Hong clan is trying to knock on the door, he would have to consider the situation. Otherwise, he will only bring the Hong clan to a dead end." Even though Leng Ruoxue's words were directed at the Hong clan, she was also trying to warn the Yen clan's first elder. Miss Leng's words make sense. Yen tribe's first elder echoed, but he was somewhat absent-minded. "Is Great Elder Yen worried about your clan head's illness?" Leng Ruoxue glanced at the Yen clan's first elder and said. "Ah. How did Miss Leng know?" The Yen clan's first elder was deeply shocked by Leng Ruoxue's ability to read people's expressions. Although it was no secret that the clan head was currently bedridden, he thought he had concealed it very well. He didn't expect that the other party would actually see through it. From this, it could be seen how meticulous the other party's thoughts were. "It's all written on your face," Leng Ruoxue said helplessly. "Ah. That's right. Our patriarch was injured by the Grand Elder of the Hong family, and the divine skill used by the Grand Elder is a family heirloom of the Hong family. In the entire Hong family, only the Grand Elder is able to use it, and our patriarch's injuries can only be healed by the person who injured him." The Yen clan's first elder lightly sighed, a helpless look on his face. "Other than the first elder of the Hong family who can cure your master's injuries, can't any other healing pills do the same?" Leng Ruoxue asked curiously. It seemed like she would have to meet the first elder of the Hong family and see what kind of godly skill he had used to cause such an injury that only he could heal. "Medicinal pills are fine too, but they're extremely difficult to find and can't be concocted by ordinary alchemists," the great elder of the Yen clan said with a worried look. There had been no news from the main clan for a long time, so they had given up on the pills. The great elder of the Hong clan was their greatest hope, but under the pressure of Leng Ruoxue and the others, they had no choice but to give up 100% of their hope. Now, they could only pray that the great elder of the Hong clan would not give up on the clansmen of the Hong clan who were currently locked up in the Yen clan's prison. Otherwise, they would really have no more hope. "May I know what kind of medicinal pill you need?" Leng Ruoxue asked again. She had quite a number of pills with her, but she didn't know if there were any that they needed. Furthermore, if it wasn't for the Yen clan's wise decision, she wouldn't have returned the favor. "If we want to cure the master's injury, we need the frost pill. The herbs required to refine that pill are very rare. Furthermore, the frost pill is very difficult to refine. That's why we have been unable to find it," the Yen clan's first elder explained. "Frost pill. I just happen to have one in my hands." Leng Ruoxu's words immediately caused the First Elder to fall into a daze. Seeing First Elder's reaction, Leng Ruoxue didn't say anything else. She waited for him to digest this information. In fact, other than the rare ingredients required to refine the frost pill, it was not considered a very good healing pill. Moreover, the frost pill could only treat injuries caused by the cold attribute. Therefore, it was a very unpopular pill. Very few alchemists would refine this kind of pill that almost no one wanted. The reason why she had this kind of pill in her hands was because her ice attribute beasts like to eat pills as snacks. In order to satisfy their appetite, she had refined all kinds of pills in case they needed it. In addition to the pills that Zheng En and his disciples used to practice, she had a lot of these less popular pills. Young Lady Leng, do you really have the frost pill? After a long time, the Yan clan's First Elder regained his senses and asked in disbelief. Of course. After speaking, Leng Ruoxue took out a cold jade bottle from her bracelet. Inside the bottle was the cold frost pill that the Yan clan's First Elder had mentioned. Looking at the small jade bottle that was emitting waves of cold air, the Yan clan's First Elder felt waves of excitement in his heart. He couldn't believe that he would be so lucky. Initially, he had wanted to use the Hong clan's members to threaten the First Elder so that he would cure the family head's injuries. He had also been prepared for the First Elder to take the opportunity to lower his conditions. However, he didn't expect Leng Ruoxue to give him such a big surprise. With this, why would he have to accommodate the First Elder of the Hong clan? After using Leng Ruoxue's cold frost pill to heal the clan head's injuries, he would be able to take control of the situation. Thinking of this, he suddenly became excited. Young Lady Leng, this cold frost pill is exactly what our clan head is in urgent need of. If you have any conditions, please state them. I am willing to pay a high price for this pill. The Yan clan's First Elder said, suppressing the excitement in his heart. With this frost pill, he would no longer have to worry about the clan head's injuries. Furthermore, he would be able to hold the initiative when negotiating with the Hong clan. I can give you the frost pill, but I only have one request. That is, when Great Elder Yan is negotiating with the Great Elder of the Hong clan, do not go easy on him. We'll do our best to obtain as many benefits as possible. Leng Ruoxue said with a smile. Don't worry, Miss Leng. I've been thinking too much because of the master's injury, but now that I have the frost pill, I don't have to worry about it anymore. This time, it'll settle all the old and new scores with the Hong family. However, the Great Elder of the Hong family is a cold person. I'm afraid he'd rather not take the members of the Hong family than spend so much money. The Yan clan's First Elder said worriedly. Chapter 1365, The Furious First Elder of the Hong Family, 1, that will depend on Great Elder Yan's ability. The master of the Hong family and so many elders are in your hands. I think that even if the Great Elder of the Hong family is heartless, he can't possibly ignore the life and death of so many clansmen. If he really didn't care, wouldn't you be able to do whatever you want to those Hong family members? I don't believe that he won't feel heartache, but there's a high chance that he'll use Master Yan's injuries to threaten you, so you have to be mentally prepared. Leng Ruoxue chuckled as she reminded him. Miss Leng's words are reasonable. I will take precautions in advance. No matter how cunning that old fox is, I will not let him escape easily this time. Yan clan's First Elder guaranteed. Yes. Also, this is the list of compensation we want. After Leng Ruoxue finished speaking, she nodded towards Ziyu. Ziyu understood her meaning and took out a thin piece of paper from her storage ring, handing it to the Yan clan's First Elder. After the Yan clan's Great Elder received it, he swept a glance over it. Immediately, his heart began to twitch and he couldn't help but feel disgusted. Woo! These people were really too ruthless. Although he had long prepared in his heart that the other party would demand an exorbitant price, the compensation they wanted had still exceeded his expectations. This time, his Yan clan would probably have to pay until they went bankrupt. However, he didn't dare to have the slightest thought of reneging on the debt, because as long as he thought of Ziye's shocking strength, his heart would tremble. Don't be afraid, Great Elder. This is all the compensation you and the Hong family have to offer. I've written it all down. Do you understand what I mean, Great Elder? Leng Ruoxua looked at the Yen clan's first elder's face, which flickered between light and dark, white for a moment, then black for a moment. She almost laughed out loud in her heart. This Yen clan's first elder was so scared that he didn't even bother to hide his thoughts. Ah. Miss Leng, you mean, when the Yen clan's first elder heard Leng Ruoxua's words, he was bewildered, afraid that he had guessed the other party's thoughts wrong. The compensation on this list is what I want. As for whether the Yen family or the Hong family will compensate me, I don't care. As long as Great Elder Yen is able to gather everything according to the list I've written, it'll be fine. Great Elder Yen should understand now. Leng Ruoxua looked at the Yen clan's first elder, who was like a bird startled by the mere twang of a bow. He was so frightened that he didn't even believe her own judgment. She couldn't help but laugh in her heart, and could only explain it in a clearer manner. I understand. I understand. After listening to Leng Ruoxua's words, the Yen clan's first elder finally heaved a sigh of relief. He no longer felt so stifled in his heart. Sob. He was really scared to death. With so many things, the Yen clan would be emptied out. Luckily, the Hong clan was still there to support them. If there's nothing else, Great Elder Yen, please leave. Leng Ruoxua chuckled and asked her to leave. She then instructed Ziyu to pass the frost pill to the Yen clan's first elder. Good. Miss Leng, I'll take my leave first. The Yen clan's first elder carefully took the frost pill, and after he finished speaking, he stood up and left the guest courtyard. After the Yen clan's first elder left, he felt depressed as he walked. Woo. This was clearly his home, okay? Why was he the one who was invited out? He had lived for so long, but he had never seen a guest who ignored the host like Leng Ruoxua. However, he had the right to be proud. After the Yen clan's first elder left the guest courtyard where Leng Ruoxua and the others were staying, the first thing he did was to go to the main courtyard to meet the clan head. Grand Elder, is there anything important for you to return? The patriarch of the Yen clan looked at the first elder in confusion. Master, I just came back from Miss Ling's place. Yen tribe's first elder said. Oh. Do they have any other requests? The Yen clan master understood. If not for this, the great elder would not have come to discuss with him in such a hurry. P.L.S. read on MYB0's Novel, COM, they gave me the list of compensation, and this. The Yen clan's first elder was in a good mood as he kept them in suspense before taking out the small cold jade bottle. Oh. Great Elder, what's in that bottle? The Yen clan had looked at the small white bottle that was emitting a cold air that made one's heart palpitate. He was extremely puzzled. What medicine was the Great Elder selling in his gourd? Master. This was the frost pill. A frost pill that can cure your injuries. The Yen clan's first elder said with an excited expression. Frost pill. How did you get the frost pill? Could it be that the main family sent it over? The head of the Yen clan was extremely excited. He had been injured for quite some time, and he had thought that the hope of recovery was getting slimmer and slimmer. He didn't expect that such a big surprise would suddenly land in front of him. He was really excited to the point that he didn't know what to say. It's not the master, it's Miss Leng. She happened to have the frost pill and knew that the master's injuries were in urgent need of this frost pill, so she gave it to me. Master, please take it quickly. After the Yen clan's first elder gave a simple explanation, he urged the clan leader to take the frost pill. However, the Yen clan head did not consume it immediately. Instead, he looked at his clan's great elder with a serious expression and said, Grand Elder, what price did you pay to obtain this cold frost pill? Ah. Clan head, these frost pills were given to me by young Lady Leng, and she didn't pay any price for it. Yen clan's first elder was startled for a moment before saying. Don't hide it from me. I won't believe it. We're not related to him in any way, and we even have some enmity between us. How could he be so kind as to give me the frost pill? Did you agree to some conditions? The patriarch of the Yen clan asked in disbelief. Family head, if there are any conditions, I've agreed to make the Hong family bleed. Other than that, I have no other conditions. The Yen clan's first elder carefully recalled, and then said with absolute certainty, AI. After hearing the family head's words, he started to doubt himself. Hence, he recalled his conversation with Leng Ruoxue from the beginning to the end. You really didn't, T. Great elder, don't try to deceive me just so I can eat this frost pill. The patriarch of the Yen clan reminded him worriedly. Master. Why would I lie to you? I really don't have any more. The Yen clan's first elder said with a depressed look. Woo. Could it be that his credibility was so bad? Why didn't the master believe him? Then I'm at ease, great elder. It's not that I don't believe you, but I can't believe those people. I'm afraid that you'll be willing to pay any price for my illness. The Yen clan leader sighed softly and said slowly. He had grown up with the great elder, so the two of them had an extremely good relationship. They could also trust each other, and this was one of the main reasons why the Yen clan could be so harmonious. Chapter 1366, The Furious First Elder of the Hong Family, 2, Patriarch, don't worry. This frost pill was given to me by them without any additional conditions. Quickly take the pill. This way, we'll be able to have more initiative in the negotiations with the Hong family. Yen tribe's first elder urged. All right, he said. The Yen clan master nodded and took the pill from the first elder's hand, swallowing it. After a while, the patriarch's face, which had been extremely pale, slowly returned to normal. The cold energy in his body was gradually expelled, and it didn't take long for his injuries to recover. Feeling the warmth on his body, Patriarch Yen stretched his arms and legs in disbelief. Then, he lifted the blanket and got off the bed. How do you feel, Patriarch? The Yen clan's first elder stared at his clan master, afraid that he would not be used to it. Good. Very good. After taking this cold frost pill, not only was the cold chi in my body completely expelled, I even faintly showed signs of breaking through. This is truly too incredible. The Yen clan head's face was filled with shock and disbelief. What was going on? One had to know that he had been stuck at the mid-level of the high-level deity stage for a long time. He had never been able to break through. However, after healing his injuries, he actually felt like he was about to break through. This was too strange. Congratulations, Master. After the Yen clan's first elder heard the clan head's words, he was also very happy. If the clan head could break through to the advanced divine realm, then the Hong clan's first elder wouldn't be a problem. Hee. Grand elder, for the time being, it's best not to spread the news that I've recovered. The patriarch of the Yen clan said after some thought. Yes, if the news of family head's recovery reaches the ears of that old fox of the Hong family, he will definitely take precautions. We will not be able to catch him by surprise. The Yen clan's first elder agreed. Great elder, it's all thanks to Miss Leng that my injuries can be healed. Please take me to the guest house to thank her. The Yen clan leader said impatiently. He had always wanted to meet the celestial-like figures that the elders and his second son had been talking about. However, he had been bedridden for a long time and had not been able to meet them. Therefore, the first thing he wanted to do after recovering was to meet them and thank them personally. After all, they had saved his life despite their past grudges. Master, I'm afraid it's not appropriate for you to see them now. Yen clan's first elder said after some thought. Why do you say so? The patriarch of the Yen clan was puzzled. Master, didn't you just say that you wanted to hide your recovery? If you go to the guest courtyard and are seen by the clansmen, and someone accidentally tells them, then wouldn't our efforts be in vain? I think you'd better be patient for a few days. It won't be too late to thank him after the Hong family's matter has been satisfactorily resolved. Yen tribe's first elder suggested. What you said isn't without reason. However, he gave me the medicinal pill to cure my injuries. If I don't go and thank him, wouldn't he be overthinking it? The head of the Yen clan asked worriedly. After all, they weren't friends with the other party, and there was also enmity between them. So, if the other party knew that his injuries had recovered, but didn't come to thank him, wouldn't all their efforts be in vain if the enmity between them and the Yen clan worsened? He was a little worried. P.L.'s read on MYB0's novel, COM, Clan Head. I don't think Miss Leng and the others are petty people. Otherwise, she wouldn't have given me the frost pill. Yen clan's first elder pondered for a moment before saying. These are two different things. After all, our Yen clan had some disputes with them in the past. Now that they have shown us kindness, I should go and thank them personally. The patriarch of the Yen clan said stubbornly. Family head, don't be anxious. Why don't I go and sound out Miss Leng's opinion tomorrow and see what she means? It's too late today, so don't go. Yen tribe's first elder saw that he could not persuade the patriarch, so he could only use a roundabout method. That's good. The patriarch of the Yen clan looked at the sky outside the window. It was indeed getting late, so he had no choice but to dispel this thought. The next morning, Yen clan's first elder left for the guest courtyard. When he saw Leng Ruoxue, he first expressed his gratitude on behalf of the family head. He then said that the family head wanted to express his gratitude personally, but Leng Ruoxue declined his offer. Let your master rest well. You've just recovered, so don't run around. Leng Ruoxue, who was sitting on the main seat, said with a faint smile. Ah. I understand. I'll let the patriarch know. The Yen clan's first elder tactfully said. It seemed that the other party was thinking the same thing as him. They didn't want the family head to appear in front of their clansmen now. Great Elder Yen, that great elder from the Hong clan should be arriving soon, right? It's been so many days, but he's still able to keep his cool. Leng Ruoxue laughed. Yes, I've received news that First Elder Hong has left Hong City and is heading towards our Yen City. He should be here in less than 2 days. The Yen clan's first elder nodded. Before that old man arrives, I think Great Elder Yen should have a lot of things to prepare. I won't keep you any longer. Leng Ruoxue started to chase him away again. Ah. Hearing Leng Ruoxue's words, the Yen clan's first elder was deeply depressed. Why was he always being chased out? Was his relationship with others that bad? Every time he was chased out, he felt like crying to death. However, since the other party had already spoken, it would not be good for him to stay here and not move. After bidding Leng Ruoxue farewell, he left the guest courtyard with an extremely depressed heart. 2 days later, the first elder of the Hong family had finally arrived in Yen City. Although the Yen and Hong clan had many conflicts now, in order to show his clan's magnanimity, the Yen clan's first elder still very politely invited the Hong clan's first elder and his party into the Yen clan's main residence. However, the accommodation they had arranged for the Hong family was not the best guest house. Hence, it caused some dissatisfaction in the Hong family. Great Elder Yen, you're just letting us stay here. A certain elder of the Hong family said with a dissatisfied expression. What happened here? The Yen clan's first elder had a puzzled look on his face. In his opinion, he was already giving the Hong clan a lot of face by allowing them to stay here. Although this was not the best guest courtyard in the Yen clan, it was not too bad. We used to stay at Liuxiang residence. The elder said. Elder Shan, as you said, that was in the past. In the past, people from your Hong family could let you stay in the Liuxiang residence, but do you think that with the relationship between our families, you can stay there now? Moreover, there's someone living there now. The Liuxiang residence that Elder Shan mentioned was actually the guest courtyard that Leng Ruoxue and the rest were staying in. It was also the best guest courtyard in the entire Hong clan. Chapter 1367, The Furious First Elder of the Hong Family, 3. However, even if there was no one living there, he couldn't possibly arrange for the Hong clan to stay there. After all, the Hong clan was here to negotiate with them, and many of the Hong clan's clansmen were in his hands. Therefore, it could be said that the Yen clan had the upper hand now. Since that was the case, how could he be considerate of the Hong clan and act according to their wishes? If that happened, where would the Yen clan's face be? Moreover, in the hearts of many members of the Yen family, the Hong family was equivalent to a prisoner. He had already given them a lot of face by being willing to invite them into the main residence. How could the Hong family have the right to be picky? You're clearly looking down on our Hong family. That Elder Shan roared out in a somewhat annoyed manner. Elder Shan, if you really want to think that way, I won't object. However, please correct your position and don't forget the current situation of your Hong family. The Yen clan's first elder reminded him with a straight face. This Elder Shan was really brainless. No wonder he was able to escape death. It was because the Hong clan had looked down on him. Therefore, he did not intend to bring him to the Yen clan because he was afraid that he would ruin things. Otherwise, this Elder Shan would probably be in their Yen clan's prison by now. How could he still be able to show off in front of him? Elder Shan was so angry that he couldn't speak. He gave the Hong family members a look, but none of them were willing to help. This made him even angrier. Great Elder Yen, we are very satisfied with this place. At this moment, the first elder of the Hong family, who had not spoken all this while, glared at Elder Shan before he spoke. It's good that first elder Hong is satisfied. You must be tired from the long journey, have a good rest today. We'll talk business tomorrow. I'll take my leave first. After the Yen clan's first elder finished speaking, he left with the Yen clan's people without looking back. After Yen tribe's first elder left with his men, Elder Shan said with a dissatisfied expression, Great Elder, why do you indulge them? They really don't have any respect for our Hong family. You shut up. Don't blame me for being impolite if you continue to speak nonsense. The Hong family's first elder said with a cold face, as if he had a headache. The clan head and the others were in the hands of the Yen clan, and now he couldn't even find anyone to discuss things with. He was really depressed to death with only a group of trash who only knew how to eat. Great Elder. Elder Shan's face was filled with disbelief. Although the Great Elder was usually cold and heartless, he still looked down on him even at this point. Thinking of this, he felt extremely depressed. All of you better use your brains. Our Hong clan is no longer the same as before, and the Yen clan is no longer the same as before. The clan head and the elders are all in the hands of the Yen clan, so you should all think carefully about what you should say and what you shouldn't say. Don't always make me follow behind you and clean up your mess. The Hong family's first elder said with a face full of disappointment. Yes. Great Elder. The members of the Hong family in the room didn't dare to say anything after hearing the first elder's reprimand. They could only nod. Go back to your rooms and rest. We still have a tough battle to fight. Even if you can't be of much help, don't add to my troubles. Don't blame me for being merciless. The first elder of the Hong family warned. Yes. Yes, Master. Everyone from the Hong family replied and then carefully returned to their rooms. The next day. After a sleepless night, the first elder of the Hong clan went to find the first elder of the Yen clan to prepare for negotiations. P.L.S. read on MYB0's novel, COM. The Yen clan's first elder, who had not fully woken up, looked at the uninvited guest in his room and felt extremely depressed. It seemed that first elder Hong, who had always been calm, was a little impatient because of this matter. However, he could understand. After all, if their positions were to be reversed, he was afraid that he would be even more anxious than the first elder of the Hong family. Great Elder Yen, I'm sorry. I've come to disturb you so early because our Hong family's affairs are really very busy. The family head isn't around, and there are many things that I have to deal with. So, I really don't have much time. Let's quickly discuss the conditions so that I can return to the Hong family earlier. The first elder of the Hong family said apologetically. First elder Hong, I know you're in a hurry to return to the Hong family, but you have to give me some time to put on my clothes. The Yen clan's first elder helplessly reminded him. This Hong clan's first elder had just happened to block him under the blanket. It was really too embarrassing. Hee. I'm sorry, we've known each other for so many years, but I didn't expect Great Elder Yen to be shy. The Hong family's first elder said with a smile. However, he couldn't help but think to himself, old thing, you can't be the only one who's laughing at our Hong family. I have to look at you too. Otherwise, I'll feel unbalanced. Shy, my ass. Upon hearing the Hong clan's first elder's words, the Yen clan's first elder could not help but curse in his heart. However, he still had to put on a helpless expression and said, First Elder Hong, you still like to joke so much. Hee. This is called unexpected. The Hong clan's first elder said proudly. Then, he urged the Yen clan's first elder, Great Elder Yen, quickly put on your clothes. After you're done, we'll talk. Ai. The Yen clan's first elder sighed softly and felt extremely helpless. He could see that this old thing was planning to watch him change his clothes. Woo. In his entire life, other than the clan head and his already deceased wife, no one had ever stared at him with such big eyes and watched him change his clothes. The Yen clan's first elder was clear that this old thing from the Hong clan could not be driven away. Therefore, he could only brace himself and endure the discomfort in his heart as he picked up the clothes that were thrown on the chair by the bed and quickly put them on. After a while, the first elder of the Hong family saw that he was fully dressed, so he pulled his hand and prepared to find a place to negotiate. First Elder Hong, don't be anxious. Let's have some breakfast first before we talk. The Yen clan's first elder, who was being held tightly by the Hong clan's first elder, said in a speechless manner. I'm not hungry. Let's talk while you eat. The Hong clan's first elder thought for a moment, and then pulled the Yen clan's first elder towards the dining room. He had been to the Yen residence many times, so he was very familiar with the layout of the Yen residence. Finding the dining room was not a difficult task. At this moment, there was no one else in the dining room other than the elders from the Yen family. However, when they saw the two of them walking in hand, the elders' faces revealed a puzzled expression. Since when did their elder and the first elder of the Hong family have such a good relationship? The two of them were actually holding hands. This scene was really too strange, and they couldn't help but let their thoughts run wild. Could it be that there was an affair between them that they shouldn't have? Chapter 1368, The Furious First Elder of the Hong Family. 4. Seeing the expressions of the elders, the Yen clan's first elder, who had guessed what they were thinking, had an extremely ugly expression on his face. However, the Hong clan's first elder did not care at all. After pulling the Yen clan's first elder to sit down, he very attentively filled his bowl with porridge and all kinds of side dishes. Seeing this scene, the Yen clan's elders' jaws almost dropped. Their eyes were wide and round, and their faces were all filled with an expression of disbelief. What are you looking at? Hurry up and eat your food. The Yen clan's first elder roared in a depressed manner. He hated the Hong clan's first elder's actions to death. Damn it, this old thing must be doing this on purpose to make things difficult for him. I'm done. Seeing that their first elder was angry, the elders of the Yen family quickly said. Then, they put down their bowls and chopsticks and left the dining room as if they were running for their lives. However, they didn't go far, but eavesdropped at the door of the dining room. First Elder Hong, what the hell are you doing? Seeing that there were only the two of them left in the dining hall, the Yen clan's first elder couldn't help but ask through gritted teeth. How can you say that about me? Can't you see that I'm trying to please you? The first elder of the Hong clan said in an extremely aggrieved manner. His current appearance was completely different from when he faced the people of the Hong clan yesterday. If the people of the Hong clan were to see this, they would also be shocked. Don't try to please me. I'm afraid you'll be like this. Yen tribe's first elder spoke the truth, his little heart trembling from the stimulation. Ling. We've known each other for quite a few years. Although we've never had a deep friendship, we've never really become enemies. The first elder of the Hong family said softly, playing the emotional card. Don't call me that. I'm getting goosebumps. When the Yan clan's first elder heard the Hong clan's first elder call out his name, his heart turned cold. Oh my God. It was really too disgusting. Although his name was Yan Ling, he really couldn't accept being called the first elder of the Hong family. Then how do you want me to call you? Lingling. The Hong clan's first elder whispered into the Yan clan's first elder's ear. You can just call me Great Elder Yan. The Yan clan's first elder said, feeling a little nauseated in his heart. Just now in his room, this old thing was still quite normal. Why did it seem like he was a completely different person the moment he left his room? He really couldn't get used to it. That's too polite. I think Ling or Lingling sounds more intimate. After all, we've known each other for so many years. The first elder of the Hong clan laughed. We're not friends, so there's no need to be so friendly, really. The Yan clan's first elder hurriedly said in fear, fuck. What was this old thing up to? Why did he feel that his brain couldn't keep up with the flow? I'm so sad to hear you say that. The first elder of the Hong family said, pretending to be sad. His eyes were sparkling as if he was about to cry. First elder Hong, I don't care what your purpose is. I'll tell you directly now that our Yan clan and the Hong clan can no longer be the same as before. In fact, the relationship between our two clans has already been broken since you injured our clan head. You should know this. Yan tribe's first elder warned. I know, but I have my own difficulties. I did it to save our family head. Besides, I didn't hit him hard at that time. Besides, I was also injured by your family head, so we're even now. Let's not hold it against each other. The first elder of the Hong family said with a wronged expression. P.L.S. read on MYB0's novel, com, even, my ass. Your injuries can be healed with just a few healing pills, but our family head can, t. Do you think the cold poison in your Hong family is so easy to remove? If you really want this matter to be even and want our two families to restore our past relationship, you should take the initiative to come and treat our family head's injuries. But, did you come? Not only that, but your Hong family's head even brought people to try and swallow up our Yan family. If it wasn't for our good luck, we would have long since disappeared from the divine mainland. Humph. Is this what you mean by even? The Yan clan's first elder angrily roared. As long as he thought of this, he would not be able to suppress the anger in his heart. Ah. That's because the children are insensible. You adults should be magnanimous and not bicker with children. Moreover, my injuries have only just recovered, and even if I wanted to save your family head, I'm afraid I'm powerless. The first elder of the Hong family said shamelessly. The child he was referring to was naturally the head of the Hong family. After all, in terms of seniority, the head of the Hong family was one generation lower than them. You're talking nonsense. If it was someone from the Yan clan who tried to annex your Hong clan and was caught by your Hong clan, would you say this? I'm afraid their end will be even worse. The Yan clan's first elder understood. These people from the Hong clan were really too full of themselves. Moreover, their standards for people and things were also different. If someone provoked the Hong clan, then that person deserved to die 1,000 deaths. But if the Hong clan provoked someone else, then they would become a child who didn't know any better. How could there be such a cheap thing in the world? Moreover, who would believe that the first elder of the Hong family had just recovered from his injuries? He clearly didn't plan to save them and was waiting for the Yan clan to take the initiative to come and threaten them. Did he really think that they were all fools and couldn't see through the Hong clan's intentions? Ah! With the Yan clan's first elder's rebuttal, the touching words that the Hong clan's first elder had long prepared could no longer be said. Sigh. Did he misjudge? He clearly remembered that this Yan clan's first elder was quite easy to talk to. He had originally thought that as long as he played the emotional card, the other party would give him some face and let the Hong family off. Then, he would take the opportunity to say that he wanted to cure the Yen family's master's injury. In this way, wouldn't everyone be happy? Unfortunately, the Yen clan's first elder didn't act according to his script, and didn't plan on giving him any face at all, which couldn't help but put him on the spot. However, he would not be easily discouraged. After clearing his throat, he spoke again. "Great Elder Yen, I know that our Hong family has let you down in many ways. I apologize to you on behalf of the Hong family. In addition, one of the main purposes of my visit this time is to cure your family head and repair the relationship between our two families. I believe that you must be thinking the same in your heart. Otherwise, you wouldn't just lock up the members of our Hong family, right? First Elder Hong, I have long given up on the relationship between our two families. The reason why we have locked up the people from your Hong family instead of directly killing them is only so that the Hong family can redeem them. It's our fault for being short on money to treat our master." The Yen clan's first elder directly stated his purpose without even blushing or panting. He was very clear that if he didn't make things clear, this old fox from the Hong clan would definitely continue to play Tai Chi with him. I can't play dumb. Chapter 1369, The Furious First Elder of the Hong Family, 5, AI. After listening to the Yen clan's first elder's words, the Hong clan's first elder was truly depressed. The other party had already made it so clear, so it would be a little redundant for him to play dumb. Thus, he could only correct his thoughts and look at the Yen clan's first elder with a sincere expression, saying, "Great Elder Yen, may I know what conditions your Yen clan has? As long as it's within our Hong family's means, we'll try our best to satisfy you." Try to satisfy her. When the Yen clan's first elder heard the Hong clan's first elder's words, he sneered in his heart. Did he mean that he would not be able to satisfy all of them? It seemed like the first elder of the Hong family was afraid that they would demand an exorbitant price, so he didn't dare to be too confident. An old fox was indeed an old fox. However, he had guessed it right. They would definitely make the Hong family bleed this time. "First Elder Hong, this time, your Hong family has more than 50 people in our hands, including the patriarch, elders, and ordinary clansmen. How much do you think they're worth? If I'm not wrong, they're all the elites of your Hong family." "That's right, there's also your family head's 2 daughters. Although they caused your Hong family to lose all face, they're still young ladies of your Hong family. You wouldn't ignore them, right?" The Yen clan's first elder said with a smile. "Yen, and Shiner. What's wrong with them?" The more the first elder of the Hong clan listened to the first elder of the Yen clan, the more he felt that something was amiss. Especially when the other party had mentioned Hong Lian and Hong Xian, this made him even more suspicious. What did the first elder of the Yen clan mean by being disgraced? What's wrong? Didn't first elder Hong know? I thought that this matter had already reached first elder Hong's ears. The Yen clan's first elder said in surprise. "What is it? You might as well just say it." The first elder of the Hong family was a little impatient. He had almost not left the house recently, so he really did not know what the 2 girls had done, and no one had mentioned it to him. Hong Lian fell in love with a beggar and even forced himself on him. As for Hong Xian, in order to frame others, you actually betrayed your Hong family and revealed your family's secret to us. The Yen clan's first elder said proudly. Seeing the Hong clan's first elder's face change like a palette, he felt very happy. This is impossible. How could they have done such a thing? Don't use this kind of thing to slander them. After a long while, the first elder of the Hong clan spoke with a face full of disbelief. Previously, the Yen clan's first elder's words had caused him to fall into a daze and anger. However, after calming down a little, he finally reacted. Moreover, he did not believe the Yen clan's first elder's words at all. After all, the relationship between their 2 clans was no longer like before. It was normal for the other party to slander the young lady of their Hong clan. He knew very well the other party's purpose for doing so. It was just to see their Hong clan become a joke. "First Elder Hong, of course you won't believe my words. However, You can't possibly not believe the words of the Hong family, right? I'll bring you to the prison and let you ask your Hong family members personally to see if what I said is true. How about it? Do you dare to go? The Yen clan first elder said provocatively. Humph. Why wouldn't I dare to go? The Hong clan's first elder said angrily. Even if the Yen clan's first elder didn't take the initiative to invite him to the prison, he would still want to go and take a look. Since that's the case, First Elder Hong, please come with me to the prison. With that, the Yen clan's first elder stood up and walked out of the dining room. The Hong clan's first elder naturally followed closely behind. Seeing them walk out one after the other, the elders of the Yen clan who were hiding in the corner couldn't help but whisper, "Hey! Did you guys see that?" They didn't hold hands, most likely because the negotiations between our two families fell apart. Sigh. It's such a pity. Actually, they look quite compatible. The fire of gossip was burning in their hearts, and all kinds of thoughts began to float in their minds. Compared to the depression of the Yen clan some time ago, they were absolutely relaxed now. However, the first elder of the Hong clan, who had followed the Yen clan's first elder all the way to the prison cell, was not happy at all. Not only had he not used any of the strategies he had thought of, he had even found out about the family's dirty laundry from the Yen clan's first elder. Although he didn't completely believe it, the Yen clan's first elder wouldn't make irresponsible remarks and casually joke about such a matter, right? Therefore, although he said that he didn't believe it, he couldn't convince himself in his heart. P.L.S. read on MYB Zero's Novel, COM at the entrance of the prison, the Yen clan's first elder smiled and said to the Hong clan's first elder Hong, "You can go in by yourself. I won't disturb you from reminiscing with the Hong family." All right. The first elder of the Hong family nodded and strode into the cell. Seeing the Hong family's first elder enter the cell alone, the guard guarding the cell was a little worried and said to his first elder, "Should we go in and take a look? What if the first elder of the Hong family saves the clansmen of the Hong family? As a member of the Yen family, you should have confidence in the facilities of your own cell. If he can rescue the people, then there is no need to set up this cell." The Yen clan's first elder said in an unusually serious manner. "Great elder is right," the guard tactfully said. "All you need to do is guard the cell door. If First Elder Hong comes out from inside, just pretend you didn't see him." The Yen clan's great elder thought for a moment and said. He was well aware that when that old fox from the Hong clan found out that he was telling the truth in the prison, his expression would definitely not look good. Therefore, he wanted to avoid it for now so that the old thing would not blame the Yen clan for the debt. It should be known that the old fellow was very vengeful. However, before he could leave, he saw the first elder of the Hong family walking out of the cell in a rage with a dark face. He ignored him and strode away. Ah! He came out so quickly. As he watched the back view of the Hong clan's first elder, the Yen clan's first elder could not help but mutter to himself. It seemed like this old thing was quite angry. Hee. Seeing this situation, he felt great. After he finished speaking, he turned around and returned to his room. He reckoned that the first elder of the Hong family would not bother him again today. After the Hong clan's head elder angrily returned to the guest courtyard where he and the others were staying, he called all of the Hong clan's clansmen into his room. After a round of reprimanding, he glared at them and roared, "Why didn't anyone tell me about such a big thing?" The first elder of the Hong family was furious. However, he was even angrier that he had found out about this from an outsider first. This made him rather passive. The Hong family's members, who had been scolded for no reason, were all confused when they heard the first elder's words. They asked softly, "Great elder, what happened? What did we not tell you?" The members of the Hong family were all somewhat baffled. The great elder had scolded them the moment he came back, saying that they had something to hide from him. However, he did not tell them what it was. This made them feel a little wronged. Could it be that the great elder had been bullied by the great elder of the Yen family, so he was treating them as a punching bag? They could not help but let their thoughts run wild. Chapter 1370, Scandal, 1, Did I not say what it was? The first elder of the Hong family said angrily. Great elder. You didn't tell me. The members of the Hong family all shook their heads and whispered in unison. I just found out about some of the Hong family's scandals from the Yen family's first elder, so I personally went to the prison to verify it. Humph. Why didn't you guys tell me? As long as the first elder of the Hong family thought about how he had been kept in the dark, the anger in his heart would surge. What scandal? Everyone from the Hong family looked at each other and looked at their first elder in confusion. Lien, and Xin, didn't you hear? The great elder of the Hong family had a look of disbelief on his face because the great elder of the Yen family had secretly told him that this matter had already spread throughout Hong City. Since that was the case, how could the Hong family not know about it? This was really too strange. Great elder. Did something happen to them? Elder Sean's face was full of question marks. Yes. The first elder of the Hong family nodded and told them what had happened. After hearing it, the Hong family fell silent. After a moment, Elder Sean, who had just reacted, said angrily, Family head, those two wretched girls actually did such a thing and caused our Hong family to lose face. The two of them must be severely punished. I suggest that they be expelled from the Hong family. Elder Sean's furious words immediately received a response from the people present. Although they were all a little surprised that the two daughters of the family head would actually do such a thing, since it had already been confirmed, the two of them naturally could not remain in the family. Otherwise, what face would the Hong family have left? We definitely have to expel them, but they're in the hands of the Yen clan now. I'm thinking, should we let them be in the hands of the Yen clan, or should we get them out with the other clansmen and then make a decision? The first elder of the Hong family frowned and said in a somewhat conflicted manner. Great elder. Why should we care about them after what they did? Just let them live and die on their own. Someone suggested. Yup. The great elder. Of the two of them, one has committed a shameful act and the other has betrayed the family. If they continue to stay in the family, many of the family members will not accept it. Someone immediately agreed. Great elder. Well, just leave them at the Yen residence. As for how the Yen family wants to deal with them, we don't care. Well, just pretend that we never knew these two. Elder Sean said. It wasn't that first elder Hong didn't have the thought of leaving the Yen clan behind. However, he thought about it again. If he left Hong Lien and Hong Xin behind in the Yen clan and didn't care about them, then they would probably be a level lower in front of the Yen clan in the future. Therefore, he was in a difficult position. Grand Elder, well, listen to your decision. Elder Sean couldn't help but ask anxiously when he saw that first elder didn't respond for a long time. P.L.S. read on MYB0's Novel, COM, let me think about it. All of you can leave. The first elder of the Hong family waved his hand, stood up, and went into the inner room. When the people of the Hong family who were left in the hall saw this, they could only turn around and leave. The next day. For some reason, gossip about the first elders of the Yen and Hong family had started to spread in the Yen family's main residence. After the Yen clan's great elder left his room early in the morning, he saw the Yen clan's clansmen whispering to each other along the way. When they saw him, they all scattered like birds and beasts. Seeing this, the Yen clan's great elder was extremely puzzled and couldn't help but secretly think to himself, when did he become so terrifying? When the clansmen saw him, they were actually like mice seeing a cat. This is really too strange. Even though he was surprised, he did not think too much about it. Instead, he went straight to Liuxiang residence where Leng Ruoxue and the others were staying. When he entered Liuxiang residence, the Yen clan's great elder was sitting in the living room, waiting for Leng Ruoxue's arrival. However, he noticed that Ziyu and the rest were also looking at him in surprise. This made him even more suspicious. What exactly had happened? First elder, why are you here so early in the morning? Leng Ruoxue walked into the living room and looked at the first elder of the Yen clan, who was sitting uncomfortably on the chair. She chuckled and teased him. I'm preparing to go to First Elder Hong to discuss the compensation, so I came here to see if Miss Leng has any other requests. Yen Tribe's First Elder said honestly. Oh. Didn't you guys talk about it yesterday? Leng Ruoshua asked out of curiosity. No, I didn't, T. That old man was in a bad mood yesterday. He didn't show up for the whole day after he came to see me this morning. Yen Tribe's First Elder said. Not in a good mood. Could it be that you guys, Leng Ruoshua smiled faintly, but she stopped mid-sentence. Ah. What's wrong with us? Yen Clan's First Elder looked at Leng Ruoxua's expression, and his face was filled with question marks. Did you guys quarrel? Leng Ruoshua asked nosily. No, I didn't, T. It's not my fault that he's in a bad mood. The Yen Clan's First Elder instinctively explained. He didn't know why, but he had a bad feeling in his heart, as if something was going to happen. Woo. Why did he have such a feeling? It was too strange. How can it not be related to you? Aren't you two very close? He's in a bad mood and you didn't comfort him. Although there's a conflict between your two families, isn't it a pity to lose the person you like for the sake of the family? Leng Ruoshua reminded. Her words were like a sudden clap of thunder, blasting the Yen Clan's First Elder out of his wits and almost causing his soul to fly out of his body. Miss Leng, what do you mean by this? The Yen Clan's First Elder asked in disbelief. He didn't hear wrong, did he? The meaning behind Leng Ruoxua's words shouldn't be what he was thinking, right? He could not help but console himself. Great Elder Yen, you can't control your emotions. I won't laugh at you. On the contrary, I admire your courage. After all, it's not easy to find someone you like. Leng Ruoshua said with a face full of envy. What do you mean by someone you like? Yen Clan's First Elder was somewhat dumbfounded. Could he be dreaming? Why did he hear that she had someone she liked? Who was it? Why didn't he know about it? There's no need to be shy, Great Elder Yen. Everyone in the Yen clan knows about you and the Great Elder of the Hong clan. Even we have heard about it. Leng Ruoshua consoled. Even though she didn't believe in any rumors, she couldn't help but doubt the authenticity of the matter when she saw the Yen clan's First Elder's shock and his unwillingness to let others know. Chapter 1371, Scandal, 2, We're fine. What do you guys know? The Yen clan's First Elder carefully asked, the doubt in his heart deepening. Great Elder Yen, your Hong family's Great Elder's scandal is already all over the place. Don't play dumb anymore. However, don't blame me for not warning you. No matter how good your relationship is, you can't be soft on the Hong family. Otherwise, we won't let you off. Yu Qing couldn't bear to see the Yen clan's First Elder stammering, and directly shouted. Scandal? What kind of scandal could we have? I'm not even close to the First Elder of the Hong family. Yen Tribe's First Elder argued, the cold sweat in his heart dripping down. Fuck. What the hell is this? Why would he have a scandal with that old thing? He really couldn't accept this. If we're not familiar with each other, well, have a scandal. If we're familiar with each other, well, definitely cause some trouble. Yu Qing said with a look of disdain. She looked down on people like Great Elder Yen the most. He pretended that nothing had happened. He was really hypocritical to the extreme. Are we really fine? Miss Leng, please don't misunderstand me. The Yen clan's First Elder said somewhat anxiously. Great Elder Yen, what does it matter if we believe it or not? Now that this rumor is known to everyone, I'm afraid that the matter between the two of you can't be hidden anymore. Leng Ruoshua reminded kindly. Miss Leng, I really have nothing to do with that old thing. I'll leave first to deal with this matter. Goodbye. After listening to Leng Ruoxua's words, the Yen clan's First Elder left Liuxiang residence on his own accord without Leng Ruoshua chasing him away. After the Yen clan's head elder left, Yu Qing couldn't help but ask curiously, Miss, do you believe that rumor? It doesn't matter if we believe it or not. What's important is that this matter has been spread, and it may be made an issue by the Hong family. In reality, she suspected that the Hong family was behind all this. The Hong family's motive was to mess with the Yen family's thoughts. However, would the first elder of the Hong family joke around with his reputation? It seemed that if a person was forced into a corner, they could do anything. Then what should we do? Do we need to take precautions? Yu Qing asked again. No need. We just have to do whatever we want. Leng Ruoxue said nonchalantly. If this matter was really related to the Hong family, then their thinking was a little too simple. The Yen clan's first elder left Liuxiang residence and immediately gathered the elders he had met in the dining hall yesterday. In the meeting hall, sitting in his seat, the Yen clan's first elder kept a straight face and silently looked at the few elders sitting opposite him. The Yen clan's elders felt their hair stand on end from the great elder's cold gaze, and they couldn't help but think to themselves, "Woo! What is the great elder planning to do? Did he call them over just to glare at them?" Moreover, the great elder's gaze was so terrifying. It shouldn't be so frightening, okay? After staring at them for a while, the Yen clan's first elder coldly said, "Do you know why I called you here?" P.L.'s read on MYB0's Novel, COM, Great Elder. If you have something to say, just say it. We really don't know why you've called us here. An elder said in a low voice. Let me ask you, what did you do after you met me and the first elder of the Hong family in the dining hall yesterday? Yen clan's first elder asked, suppressing his anger. We didn't do anything. Didn't we leave the dining room after that and leave it to you too? An elder said in a soft voice. They had heard the rumors about their own great elder and that person from the Hong family today. When they heard about it, their first reaction was that things were bad. This time, the great elder was probably going to put the blame on them. As expected, the great elder quickly found them. Woo! This really had nothing to do with them. You guys still dare to talk? Yen tribe's first elder said angrily. As long as he thought of this, he would be filled with anger. First elder, this matter really has nothing to do with us. We don't know why such a rumor would appear either. Could it be that the Hong family intentionally spread it to disturb first elder's mood and make him unable to concentrate on the negotiations? Another elder couldn't help but guess. Great elder, it's not impossible. Those despicable things from the Hong family are capable of doing anything. The elders said in unison. Although they had seen what had happened yesterday and were deeply suspicious of the relationship between their great elder and the great elder of the Hong family, they only thought about it in their hearts or gossiped in private. They absolutely did not dare to spread the matter because they were well aware of the seriousness of the matter. Naturally, they would not spread the matter about their great elder. The Hong family. Yen tribe's first elder narrowed his eyes and coldly said. Yes, this matter is definitely the doing of the Hong clan. They're capable of anything. However, if they think that our Yen clan will let them off just because there's a scandal between their great elder and our Yen clan's great elder, then they're just daydreaming. The great elder. This time, we must make the Hong family bleed. An elder suggested angrily. Right. Well, make the Hong family bleed. The elders agreed. Where did this matter come from? Immediately go and find out. I'll go find the grand elder of the Hong family. After Yen tribe's first elder finished speaking, he stood up and left the meeting room. Taking large strides, he arrived at the guest courtyard where the Hong clan's group was staying, and the Yen clan's first elder directly walked in. Great Elder Yen, why have you come? What's the matter? Elder Shan, who was in the courtyard, saw the Yen clan's first elder's ugly expression and quickly came forward to greet him. What's wrong? Can't I come? Don't forget that your Hong family is here to negotiate with us. Today is the third day, so it's time for our two families to have a good talk. The Yen clan's first elder said unhappily. The meaning of his words was clearly saying that your Hong clan was not here to be guests at my Yen clan, and that business was more important. Ah. Our grand elder is still resting. Elder Shan said with an obsequious smile. It's already 3 poles high, why is he still resting? Quickly wake him up, I want to negotiate with your Hong family now. The Yen clan's first elder urged. That damned old thing, he had trapped him in his bed yesterday. Today, he would give him a taste of his own medicine. At the thought of this, he walked past Elder Shan and headed straight for the first elder's room. Chapter 1372, Scandal, 3, Watching the back of the Yen clan's first elder, a Hong clan member whispered in Elder Shan's ear, Elder Shan, are we just going to let him in like this? Aren't we going to stop them? What's there to stop? Isn't this just the way to confirm the affair between the two of them? I want them to see for themselves how close the relationship between their Grand Elder and our Hong clan's Grand Elder is. Elder Shan said with a wicked smile. If First Elder finds out, will he be angry? The member of the Hong family asked fearfully. What are you afraid of? As long as you and I don't say anything, no one will know. Elder Shan reminded. Okay, then I'll get someone to go now. After the Hong family member finished speaking, he left the courtyard. At this moment, the Yen clan's first elder directly pushed open the door to the Hong clan's first elder's room and walked in. When he saw that the first elder of the Hong family was still lying on the bed, he went up and pushed the first elder, trying to wake him up. However, the first elder did not wake up. Why is this old thing sleeping so soundly? Yen clan's first elder couldn't help but mutter to himself. Then, he sat down on the chair beside the bed. After a while, the Hong clan's first elder opened his eyes in a daze. When he saw the Yen clan's first elder sitting not far away, he was shocked. Arg! What are you doing here? The first elder of the Hong family said in surprise. However, his "ah" was a little loud, so almost everyone in the courtyard heard it. Among them were not only people from the Hong family, but also some people from the Yen family who had been tricked by Elder Shan into coming here in the name of losing something. Damn it! What do you think I'm doing here? Tell me, what good things have you done? The Yen clan's first elder was so embarrassed that he grabbed the Hong clan's first elder's collar tightly and questioned him angrily. What did I do? The Hong family's first elder had a face full of question marks. Last night, he didn't sleep for almost the entire night and was thinking about the Hong family's matters. When it was almost dawn, he finally fell asleep with great difficulty. When he woke up, he saw this unlikable fellow guarding by his bed. His mood became even more depressed. AI. He did not want to see the Yen clan's first elder now. Don't play dumb. Tell me, did you get someone to spread this? The Yen clan's first elder asked in a bad mood. What is it? Can't you be more clear? The first elder of the Hong family said impatiently. P.L.'s read on MYB0's Novel, COM, it's a scandal between the two of us. The entire Yen family is spreading rumors of our ambiguous relationship. The Yen clan's first elder said very implicitly. He really could not say the word adultery. Just thinking about it made him feel nauseated. Hee hee. How could there be any gossip between us? Are you still sleeping? The first elder of the Hong family sneered. Of course I've woken up. Now, in the eyes of outsiders, the two of us are. That. You understand. The Yen clan's first elder said in a depressed manner. I don't understand. However, no matter what kind of scandal we have, it's impossible. I'm not interested in an old man like you. The first elder of the Hong family said straightforwardly. I'm not interested in you either, but there are rumors going around that we have a relationship. Tell me honestly, did you ask someone to spread it? The Yen clan's first elder said suspiciously. Do you think I'm stupid? What good would it do for me to order people to spread such a thing? Don't tell me I don't want my reputation anymore. The first elder of the Hong family said speechlessly. He was really impressed by this guy's imagination. It really wasn't you? Yen tribe's first elder still did not believe it. If I'm the one who spread this news, I'll die a horrible death. That's enough. the first elder of the Hong family said helplessly. After he finished speaking, a set of contract rules descended from the sky and enveloped the two of them. It was obvious that he had taken his words as an oath. Seeing this situation, he felt even more depressed. Woo! He wasn't making an oath, okay? The Hong clan's first elder was depressed, but the Yen clan's first elder was happy, hee. Since the other party had already made an oath, he would believe the first elder of the Hong family for the time being. However, it's best that I don't catch the person who spread the rumors. Otherwise, I won't let him off, he thought. Are you satisfied now? The first elder of the Hong family sighed and said helplessly. Yes. Yen tribe's first elder nodded, then said, although you did not order someone to do this, this matter is definitely related to your Hong clan. Therefore, you must hand over the person who spread the rumors. Otherwise, I will not let this matter rest. How can you be so sure that it's our Hong family? Can't it be your Yen family that spread the news? When the first elder of the Hong family heard this, he was instantly unhappy. Why were all the bad things done by the Hong family? In his opinion, the Yen clan was also a suspect. Why would our Yen family do such a thing? They're not that bored. The Yen clan's first elder said with absolute certainty. You mean our Hong family is very boring? No one in our Hong family would do such a thing. The first elder of the Hong family retorted, unwilling to be outdone. Humph. It's your Hong family's doing. The Yen clan's first elder roared. It's the Yen family who spread the news. The first elder of the Hong family shouted back. Just like that, in order to protect their family's reputation, the two old men actually began to bicker like children. Furthermore, the more they talked, the more intense it became. In the end, the two of them even got into a fight. When the members of the Hong clan and Yen clan in the courtyard heard the loud noise coming from the room of the Hong clan's head elder, they were all extremely curious. When they thought of the rumor they had heard today, the fire of gossip in everyone's heart burned. However, as the movements in the room grew louder and louder, they were all a little worried. Elder Shan, what are the two grand elders doing? With such a huge commotion, could there be any deaths? A member of the Hong family said worriedly when he heard the voice in the room. Second elder, what do you think? Elder Shan did not reply to the clansman's words. Instead, he turned his gaze to the second elder of the Yen clan, who was helping them find the lost item. Ah. If you're worried, you can go in and take a look. The second elder of the Yen family hesitated. In fact, he was very afraid of seeing things that he shouldn't see inside. However, when he thought of what the great elder had said to them before, he was afraid that the two people inside would start a fight if they didn't agree. If something happened to the Hong family's first elder, he couldn't care less. However, if their own first elder suffered a loss, how depressed would they be? Chapter 1373, Scandal, 4, In that case, let's go in and take a look. Elder Shan said. He had spent so much effort, if he did not go in to take a look, wouldn't it be a waste of effort? Thinking of this, he pulled the second elder of the Yen clan and led the clansmen of the two clans towards his great elder's room. The door to the first elder's room was left ajar, but no one dared to push the door open immediately. Instead, they stood at the door and listened for a while. However, as the loud banging sounds in the room grew louder, they braced themselves and pushed the door open to enter. However, after they entered, they were all stunned. At this moment, the two first elders were entangled on the bed with their clothes in a mess. Some parts of their clothes were torn. The first elder of the Yen clan was on top of the first elder of the Hong clan, his hands firmly holding the first elder's hands. Their current appearance was as ambiguous as it could be. Anyone with a discerning eye could tell what they were planning to do with a single glance. Seeing this scene, everyone was speechless. Even some of the more timid ones were at a loss for what to do. Woo, why did they have to see this? Would the two great elders kill them to silence them? Elder Shan, who had deliberately wanted the Yen clan to see the ambiguous relationship between the two elders, was also dumbfounded when he saw this unexpected scene. He didn't expect that the actions of the two great elders in the room would be so shocking. He didn't expect that his great elder would be the bottom. This was really too unacceptable. No matter what, he had to suppress the Yen clan's first elder. The people who entered the room had different thoughts at this time, but most of them were overthinking. The elders of the two families who were fighting on the bed obviously noticed that the situation was not right and quickly kept a certain distance from the other party. However, their actions made it seem like they were trying to hide something, which made people more suspicious. Damn it! Who let you in? When the first elder of the Hong family saw so many people in his room, he couldn't help but roar in anger. Arg! The great elder! I'm sorry. We came in because we heard the noise. You've made too much noise and we were afraid that something might have happened to you. Elder Shan quickly explained when he saw the unfriendly expression on his first elder's face. His heart was trembling with fear. So, it's our fault. The first elder of the Hong family said in an unpleasant tone. Ah. It wasn't tea. It wasn't tea. It's our fault. You guys continue. With that, Elder Shan gave the people around him a look and they immediately left the first elder's room. After they went out, the Hong family members, led by Elder Shan, couldn't help but wipe the cold sweat on their foreheads. Their little hearts were also trembling non-stop. Sob. It was really too dangerous. Second Elder Yen, thank you for helping us find the things. I think we should stop here for today. Well, look for it ourselves tomorrow, so we won't trouble you. Elder Shan looked at the second elder of the Yen clan and said. Okay, then we'll take our leave first. After the second elder finished speaking, he immediately took the head and left without looking back. P.L.S. read on MYB Zero's Novel, COM. After the Yen family left, Elder Shan said to the Hong family, you guys can also leave. Yes. The Hong family members said. Then, they scattered. Elder Shan, it seems that our plan is quite successful. Seeing that there were only the two of them left, the Hong clan members softly asked. Shut up. You can't let anyone know about this. You have to keep it to yourself, or else the Grand Elder won't let us off. Elder Shan warned with wide eyes. Elder Shan, don't worry. I won't say anything. The clansmen promised and left in a hurry. After they had left, the two great elders Hong and Yen tidied up their clothes and walked out of the room. However, their expressions were not very good. Let's talk in the living room. Yen tribe's first elder suppressed his anger and cursed in his heart. Why did he start fighting with the old thing? Moreover, they were seen by so many people. Now, even if they had a mouth, they would not be able to explain themselves. Yes. The first elder of the Hong clan nodded and followed the first elder of the Yen clan to the living room. After the two of them sat down, neither of them spoke first. After a long time, the first elder of the Hong family, who had been silent all this while, finally couldn't help but speak up. What will it take for the Yen clan to release the Hong clan? State your conditions. Hee hee. When did first elder Hong become so open? It's not easy to hear such words from you. The Yen clan's first elder said with a smile. Old man, do you want to talk or not? The first elder of the Hong family said in an extremely depressed manner. Of course we have to. Furthermore, we've already prepared a list of compensation. As long as your Hong family is prepared according to the list, I can return all the Hong family members to you. The Yen clan's first elder said with a faint smile. He also guaranteed that when the Hong clan's first elder saw the list, he would definitely be so angry that he would vomit blood. Only this? The Hong family's first elder asked in disbelief. This didn't seem to be what he had imagined. Why didn't the Yen clan treat their clan head's injuries as one of their conditions? This was really too unusual. Originally, he thought that he could use this condition to threaten the Yen clan to release the Hong clan members. But who knew that they didn't even mention this at all? When he thought of this, he felt a little uneasy. Yes. Yen tribe's first elder nodded, but he sneered in his heart, hee hee. Are you surprised by our conditions? It was simply a dream to use the family head as a hostage. Where's the list? The first elder of the Hong family suppressed the shock and dissatisfaction in his heart as he extended his hand to ask for more. Here you go. The Yen clan's first elder took out 2 thin pieces of paper from his storage ring and handed them over. The first elder of the Hong family took it and glanced at it. His eyes widened in disbelief. You guys are really demanding an exorbitant price. Do you think I'll give it to you? It's up to you whether to give it to me or not. However, if you don't pay the compensation in full, I won't hand the Hong family over to you either. So many Hong family members are going to die here. Can you bear to do that? The Yen clan's first elder warned with extreme caution. Chapter 1374, Scandal, 5, What's there for me to be reluctant about? The Hong family doesn't lack people. The first elder of the Hong family pretended to be nonchalant. If that's the case, then I have nothing more to say. After saying that, the Yen clan's first elder stood up and walked out of the hall. However, he had only taken 2 steps when he was stopped by the Hong clan's first elder. Wait, is there no room for discussion? The first elder of the Hong family asked helplessly. To be honest, the compensation that the Yen family wanted was beyond his expectations. He really couldn't bear to part with it. However, the Hong family couldn't just ignore it. After all, most of the people who came with the family head were the elites of the Hong family. It wasn't easy to train these people. Moreover, if he really didn't care about the Hong family members, the main family would blame him if they found out. First Elder Hong, our Yen clan isn't the only one who wants this compensation. Your Hong clan has also done some other things and offended others. Furthermore, these people have done a favor for our Yen clan. They want us to help them ask for compensation. We can't just ignore it. The Yen clan's first elder said with a difficult expression. In other words, there was no room for discussion on this matter. What else did they do? The first elder of the Hong family quickly asked after hearing this. You'd better go and ask your Hong family. I really can't explain this matter clearly. How about I accompany you to the prison again? The Yen clan's first elder suggested. Although he said this, in his heart, he absolutely did not want this old man to go to the prison again. Yesterday, he went to the prison and wasted a day without any negotiations. Therefore, he must make this matter come true today. No need. You just need to tell me who the other person is. The first elder of the Hong family sighed and said helplessly. He did not want to go to the prison again. I'm sorry, I can't tell you. Elder Hong, come find me after you've thought it through and are willing to compensate. However, don't make me wait too long. After Yen clan's first elder finished speaking, he turned and left the drawing room. After the Yen clan's first elder left, the Hong clan's first elder sat alone in his chair, occasionally looking at the list in his hand, feeling pained. During this period, he called Elder Shan over and ordered him to make a trip to the prison to find out everything. After all, they were all in Hong City and did not know what had happened, let alone who they had provoked. Just as the first elder of the Hong family was deep in thought, Elder Shan, who had understood the situation, finally returned. Great Elder, I've asked clearly. The clan head and the elders once wanted to kill a woman and a team that discovered Hong Lian's scandal. It was also them who helped the Yen clan and captured our Hong clan. Otherwise, our Hong clan would not have fallen into the hands of the Yen clan. Elder Shan revealed everything he knew in anger. Where are those people staying now? The first elder of the Hong family asked after hearing what Elder Wan said. I don't know, but I heard that there seems to be a group of people living in Liuxiang residence. I don't know if they are the people that fifth elder and the others mentioned. Elder Shan said after some thought. Oh. Go and find out more. The first elder of the Hong family instructed. P.L.S. read on MYB0's Novel, COM, yes. Elder Shan responded and turned to leave. Not long after, Elder Shan walked into the living room again and said loudly, Great Elder, I've asked around. The person who lives in Liuxiang residence is indeed the person that the master and the elders once wanted to kill. I know, you may leave. The Hong clan's head elder said softly, but he was extremely puzzled in his heart. Since the Hong clan wanted to kill him, why didn't they kill him earlier? They even let him help the Yen clan. Sigh. What a bunch of useless trash. At the thought of this, he stood up and walked out. With Elder Shan in tow, the two of them arrived at Liuxiang residence. As soon as they entered the courtyard, the two saw a few men and women in their early 20s with extremely outstanding looks sitting on the stone chairs. At this time, they were gathered together and chatting. When they saw the uninvited guests, they did not show much emotion, not even the slightest surprise, as if they were just passers-by. Seeing the other party's calmness, the Hong family's first elder secretly praised him. Why didn't the Hong family have such an outstanding person? Although these people didn't seem to be very powerful, one could tell from their appearance that they were all smart people. Hee hee. Hello, everyone. I'm the first elder of the Hong family. Please forgive me for my presumptuous visit. The first elder of the Hong family greeted him very politely. First elder Hong, what's the matter? Ziyu asked with a faint smile. We are here to apologize. Before this, the Hong family has offended you many times. We hope that you will not hold it against them and forgive them this time. The Hong family's first elder said with an apologetic smile. Originally, according to his character, he would never lower his voice to anyone. However, now that he had a favor to ask of someone, he could not put on airs. Hence, his attitude was extremely good. Ziyu and the others looked at each other and looked at the first elder of the Hong family as if they were watching a joke. Then, Ziyu spoke on behalf of the others. First elder Hong, as long as you pay us the compensation, we will naturally let this matter go. Hey! Don't refuse a toast only to drink a forfeit. You should feel honored that our great elder is willing to come and apologize in person, yet you still dare to make so many requests. You really don't know what you're talking about. Before the first elder of the Hong family could reply, Elder Shan, who was beside him, jumped out and roared impatiently. Is this how first elder Hong apologizes? Ziyu rolled her eyes at Elder Shan, who had just spoken, and said in a cold tone. Elder Shan, shut up. Don't talk nonsense. The first elder of the Hong family reprimanded. Great elder. When has our Hong family ever taken other people's faces into consideration? These people clearly don't have any respect for our Hong family. Let me teach them a good lesson. After Elder Shan finished speaking, he directly released a light blue water attribute divine skill at Ziyu and began to fight. Seeing this, Ziyu smiled coldly. With a slight wave of his hand, the divine power that was flying towards him in the air fell to the ground. How is this possible? Elder Shan's face was filled with disbelief when he saw that his divine skill had been knocked away. The first elder of the Hong family beside him was even more furious. Who asked him to attack this incompetent and useless thing? Fortunately, he didn't hurt the other party. However, the pressure that Ziyu released after that made even his heart tremble. This kind of strength clearly did not belong to the divine mainland. He immediately concluded that the other party was someone from the divine world who had concealed his strength, so he was even more careful. Then, a crisp "pa" sound was heard. Elder Shan was slapped on the face. The force of the slap was so strong that it knocked him to the ground. Elder Shan, who was dazed, could not react at all except to sit on the ground in a daze. After that, the first elder of the Hong family said to Ziyu and the others apologetically, Everyone, I'm sorry. Elder Shan's mind is a bit unclear, I hope you don't take it to heart. First elder Hong, you first hoped that we wouldn't be calculative with the Hong family, and now you're telling us not to stoop to this elder's level. Why did you say all these things? Yu Qing sneered and then continued, It's fine if you don't want us to haggle over it. As long as you pay the compensation we want, the debt between us will be settled. Otherwise, I can't guarantee the fate of the Hong family members who are locked up in the prison. The The first elder of the Hong family didn't expect that the other party would not give him any face. However, in fear of Ziye's pressure, he didn't dare to say anything to annoy the other party. He only secretly hated his own family's poor judgment. Of all the people they could provoke, why did they have to provoke such a difficult enemy? Wasn't this forcing the Hong family to a dead end? First Elder Hong, you can go back now. Ziyu laughed and asked him to leave. Then we'll take our leave first. The first elder of the Hong family said helplessly after a long silence. Then, he helped Elder Shan, who had been sitting on the ground in a daze, up and left Liuxiang residence with a depressed heart. Chapter 1375, Sneak Away. 1. After the Hong clan's great elder left, he locked himself in his room for a few days and did not come out. The Yan clan's great elder had sent people to invite him many times, and he had personally gone to look for him. However, he had always been blocked by the Hong clan's people, saying that the great elder was considering something. This could not help but make the Yan clan's great elder, who had returned empty-handed, feel quite depressed. Not only that, the scandal between him and the first elder of the Hong family had been spreading more and more fiercely these few days. There were even people who said that the first elder of the Hong family was the one who suffered. Although such rumors gave him a headache, his mood was much better when he heard someone describe the old man of the Hong family as a submissive. However, it wasn't good for the old man to keep avoiding him, right? Could it be that he had to continue to provide for the Hong family in vain? Thinking of this, he sent a guard to pass on his order. From now on, the Hong family was cut off from food. After all, the two families weren't friends now, and they had lived here for so long. Therefore, they wouldn't be entertained. If they wanted to eat, they could buy it with their own money, cook it themselves, or get the ingredients to be cooked by the kitchen. When the Hong family members heard this news, their noses almost went crooked from anger. What the hell is this? Why were the Yan family members becoming more and more stingy? In the past, when they had a good relationship with the Yan family, they wouldn't say anything even if they stayed for a year or so. But now, they had only stayed for a few days, and they were already complaining that they were idle. This was really too much. Following that, the Hong clan's elder Shan led the team to find the Yan clan's first elder to reason with him. Great Elder Yan, what do you mean by this? They actually cut off our food? How could you do such a thing? Elder Shan roared angrily. What's wrong? Is there a problem? The Yan clan's first elder sat on a chair and sipped his tea, his tone extremely cold as he asked. He did not even lift his eyelids. Of course there's a problem. You're a guest, and the Yan clan should treat you well. How can you let us prepare our own food? Could it be that your Yan clan is so poor that you don't even have the money to prepare food for us? Elder Shan's face was flushed red as he questioned loudly. Yup. You also know that our family head was injured by your great elder. In order to treat our family head's injury, we have spent a lot of money, and you have been eating and living for so many days. We really can't afford to feed you. However, considering the friendship between our two families, I can continue to provide you with the accommodation for free and won't charge you money, but you have to find a way for the food yourself. The Yan clan's first elder said with a difficult expression. Yup. Elder Shan, the members of our Yan clan have been eating without a next meal, AI. We're all waiting for your Hong family's compensation to buy rice to cook. An elder immediately chimed in and even exaggeratedly wiped his eyes. In order to cooperate with his words, all the elders present sighed and looked worried. Seeing the Yan family's behavior, Elder Shan was so angry that he couldn't speak. Seeing Elder Shan's face turn from white to red, and then from red to black, Yan tribe's first elder laughed in his heart, but he still said with a serious face, Elder Shan, if you're afraid of trouble, you can also pay us for your food. We'll be able to prepare food for you every day like before. No need to worry. We will prepare our own food. Elder Shan said in an unpleasant tone. After he finished speaking, he turned around and left angrily. Looking at the back view of the Hong family, the Yan family's first elder and the others couldn't help but laugh. P.Ls. read on MYB0's Novel, COM, second elder, send someone to keep an eye on them. Report to me immediately if there's any sign of trouble. The Yen clan's first elder instructed, and after he finished speaking, he stood up and left. 3 days later. The first elder of the Hong family, who had been hiding in his room, finally came out. Moreover, as soon as he came out, the Yen clan's first elder's men immediately arrived. Looking at the haggard face of the first elder of the Hong family, the first elder of the Yen family chuckled and said, "First elder Hong, what's wrong? I haven't seen you for a few days, how did you become so dispirited?" "When did I?" "You're wrong." The first elder of the Hong family suppressed his anger and said in a low voice. Seeing this guy as soon as he left the room, his mood became even worse. Moreover, Elder Sean, who originally wanted to complain to him, didn't have the chance to speak. He could only keep winking at him. Hee. That's not important. I'm just here to ask if First Elder Hong has considered it. It's been so many days, I'm getting impatient. The Yen clan's first elder said with a sincere expression. Great Elder Yen, you've asked for so many things at once. You should at least let me think about it. The first elder of the Hong family, who was also a little impatient, said in a bad mood. First Elder Hong, you have to think about it carefully. Once you've thought it through, you'll have to spend time preparing these things. I want to ask, when will the compensation we want be delivered to us? The Yen clan's first elder frowned and asked curiously. We're not in a hurry, so why are you? Elder Sean couldn't help but roar when he heard the Yen clan's first elder's words. You are in debt, of course you are not in a hurry. But we're anxious. Also, don't forget that there are still many people from your Hong family locked up in prison. Don't they need to eat every day? The longer we delay, the more our Yen clan will have to pay. So, if you don't pay the compensation quickly, and they starve to death in prison, don't blame me. The Yen clan's first elder indifferently reminded. What's the meaning of this? The first elder of the Hong family quickly asked when he heard that something was wrong. What I mean is, if you don't pay the compensation quickly, our Yen family won't be able to afford their meals. The Yen clan's first elder said with an evil smile. In fact, from the day he cut off the food for Elder Sean and the others, he had also ordered that the Hong clan members in the prison cell would only be given 1 meal a day. He felt that he had already done his best. After all, they were enemies. The first elder of the Hong clan, whose face was flushed red, was a little angry after hearing the first elder of the Yen clan's words. However, he couldn't say anything, nor was he in any position to criticize him. After all, the relationship between the two clans was no longer the same as before. First Elder Hong, quickly make your decision. It's not good for us to drag this on. Yen tribe's first elder urged. Good. Since you've said so, I have something to say as well. The first elder of the Hong family said.